I remember as well, we had like a rat problem as well at one point. Like, it was bad one year. And we'd be in this room in the back and we'd be sleeping in there, but you'd feel rats run, like no joke, over the sleeping bag.
Welcome to the show, Kriss Kyle.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Stoked, dude.
Speaking of pops.
Stoked. Yeah.
Lad, super hyped for this one. Been wanting to try and make this happen for ages.
Yeah, it's been going on a while there, but you boys are just so far down. Yeah, and it's like...
Long way away.
Yeah, but I'm glad I finally made it, so...
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
Hyped to have you on here.
Yeah,
It's
thank
a
you.
pleasure. Really is.
Cheers.
Thanks for fitting us in. You got a lot of bikes to be riding, dude.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Yeah, true. All types, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, I think we should start with a guest like you. You got an amazing come-up story. Like really fascinating one that a lot of people probably won't know about. They probably just go online and see the crazy edits, see the, I don't know, beautiful lifestyle with the dogs and all this sort of stuff for the family. But there's a lot more gone on in your upbringing to get to that point.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
a fantastic come-up story. So let's start with talking about like growing up in Stranraer.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Stranraer.
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's like a small town, like southwest Scotland, middle of nowhere, but it's like a lot of people will know it from where you used to get the ferry to Ireland. You used to go from there to Belfast.
Okay.
Like Stena Line and the HSS, that's where that was from. Yeah. But yeah, there's not much going on down there. It's like it's like a little point. There's nothing down there. It's like farmland.
What does go on? Farming, yeah.
Yeah, farming and the boats. But then they've moved the boats outside to Cairnryan now, so it's ruining all businesses. But
Really?
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up there then?
It was pretty good, to be honest. Like running around in fields with my brother and stuff, and riding bikes, which was amazing.
I don't know why in my head it feels different in Stranraer. I don't know why.
What do you think?
Honestly,
Yeah.
Phoenix Night sketch where he goes, Paddy's gone missing or something. He's like, where is he? Stranraer. That's the only thing that I think. Do you know what I mean? Brian
can
Potter's in his
understand why you
wheelchair and he's like,
associate
Stranraer.
Yeah.
What's he doing in Stranraer? That's why he's gone to get
It's
booze
that,
from
it's
somewhere.
that kind of place. Yeah,
That's all I think about.
Hit in the head.
Never been.
Nah,
Hopefully one day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's nice. Like it is nice, but pretty much, yeah. I grew up there, and I got into BMX when I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
And
How?
My parents would take me out to the skate park to watch my older brother ride. Him and his friends were riding, and it looked as if they're having the best time ever. And I just wanted to be part of that.
Does he still ride? How much older is he?
Nah, he's 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, watching him and his mates ride was like, it looked like they're having the best time ever. And I was like, fuck, I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
So for my 10th birthday, I begged my mum and dad for a small BMX, a Harrow 360, and I got it. And then I was out there following him and all his mates around. I think he hated it because I was like younger brother out, and all his friends were the same age as him. And I was just a small guy, just wanted to be part of the crew. But yeah, it was amazing. Like my brother was an incredible rider, and like I actually wish that he was still riding to this day because he had style that was like unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, it was like Taj Mahal, actually, like Joe Rich or that. It was just insane, the style he had.
Yeah.
I used to these massive free inverts over this tiny spine, and that was like, it was unreal. But yeah, he was 4 years older than me, and then they were riding for a bit, but then shortly after I started riding, they quit because they got into like drinking and cars.
Gets
and,
you around 16.
as you do.
It gets a lot of people, doesn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you lose a lot of people
Yeah.
to that
it.
period.
But-
The
but me-
16-year-old dip is real.
Yeah, but me being,
Innit?
I wasn't even at that age yet because they were obviously older. So I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, so I can't go to the pub. I can't do it. But I just I was still riding when I by myself though.
In Stranraer.
Yeah, by myself. But like,
What did it have? What scene? Like, what
Yeah,
was
that's
it?
what I was gonna.
it had. There was like 5 of us that used to ride,
Yeah.
but they were all older, and then they all quit.
Okay.
What did
and-
you ride?
A spine, and we called it a fun box, which you don't see these days. It was like a jump box. So it was like a jump box that you see in Skatepark, but it had like a grind ledge on it and stuff.
Okay.
Proper old school. And then we had 2 quarter pipes, and that was it. But they were all like 4 foot tall.
Okay.
But we had a good little
skate
crew.
park.
Yeah. But yeah. So from there, from there everyone quit, and no one that I went to school with was riding or anything like that. But I knew of a place called Unit 23 Skatepark, which was in Dumbarton, and that was like the Woodward camp of the UK. I thought, I was like, this is like the place to be, an indoor skate park. Yeah. And I'll never forget the first time I went there with my brother when I was like, must have been like, I think I was like 11. And hitting an 8-foot quarter for the first time felt like a vertical. Like I was like, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen. Like, try to get to the coping on it. I was like, this is unreal. But for me, it just blew my mind. I was like, this is the best place ever. And sure enough, I always knew about that place when I was back in Stranraer, but my brother wouldn't take me anymore because he wasn't there doing other stuff. So I used to get a train by myself. My parents were nice enough to let me go by myself. But it was like 3.5 hours on the train, and it'd be scary coming from a small town. Yeah. I remember getting into Glasgow, and I'd need to change trains in Glasgow, but change stations. So pedaling through Glasgow, past all the junkies, try to get to this train station. Then I get another train to Unit 23, but when I get there, I'd have the best time ever. And I shared the same passion as other kids that were the same age as me, and it was kind of where I wanted to be. So I'd come home, and I'd be riding a skate park by myself back in Stranraer, and I hated it. I was like, well, I didn't hate it, but I was like, it's just me by myself. It's like, it's hard to get motivated and stuff. And then I started high school, and I didn't really have many friends because no one was into the same thing as I wanted to do, and no one shared that same passion. So for me, it was just like, I remember just being in it. If it was sunny outside, I lived around the corner from the school as well, not too far. Okay. And before I got it as well, my mum was a teacher at the high school. My dad was the janitor, the caretaker, and my brother-in-law was a teacher there as well. So
you bunk out, you're not escaping, are you?
Yeah, but I've managed to, but we'll get there. But
how did you sorry to interrupt you, how did you like discover, obviously you said your brother and stuff, that's not actually what I was going to ask you, how did you like watch BMX? Like what were you a fan of? Who were you looking up to at that age?
All the props videos. We used to get like VHS tapes, and it was props, so like road fills would come out, and I'd just watch that on repeat, and like with all it was just...
How old are you then?
What? How old was I then?
How old are you now?
Oh, I'm 32 now.
32 now,
yeah,
okay.
So
so props, like you said, road full, stuff like that.
Yeah, all that, and it was like...
Internet's a thing or not?
Nah. And then I was quite late to all that anyway. But
took a while to get up north, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It did.
Missed us for a bit as well, dude. It came right past.
But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, like I said, I was making these trips up to Unit 23, and then eventually I kind of made friends up there because I was going up there, and they were like, Kriss, like, if you want, why don't you stay at my house this weekend? So I'd say at my mum and dad, can I stay at their house? And then they'd say, yeah, sure. So I'd stay up there, but then sometimes I wouldn't come home on a Monday when I should be at school. I'd be like, oh, I missed the train. Like,
how old are you at this point?
That's just into first year, so I'd be 14.
Dude, these are big missions when you're 14, eh? Getting a train,
14,
going through a city, staying places.
So pretty much, so I started making friends there, and I'd come home and I'd be in school, and I'm like, I hate every second of this. And it was like, I just hated it. Like, I really didn't have anyone there, and I was like, I just wanted to be at Unit 23 with my friends, you know what I mean? So, yeah, as I say, my mum and dad were super supportive. They give me a day off here and there to go up and ride up there, and then a day would turn into 2 days, and then I'd be like, I'll come home, but I'm so sorry, this and that, I'll go to school again. I just really didn't like it. And then
what was it like? Yeah. What is it about school you didn't like? Because I think a lot of people, listeners, is probably like, oh, everything, I hate school as absolutely. Well.
No, like, yeah, but like, I just,
bullied or not?
For me, it was just all I cared about was riding my bike. I've never I don't know, the passion for me riding that bike was the only thing I'd ever think about. The only thing I wanted to do, like night and day, it'd be the first thing I'd wake up, look out the window if it's dry, and run out and get on the bike and just be, and that'd be me. I wouldn't come home till 11:30 at night. And that'd be the only thing I ever wanted to do or cared about.
What specifically was it about riding bikes?
I think it's the whole freedom, like the freedom of it. Like, I don't like football because I used to play a little bit of that when I was super young, when I was like 7 and 8. And then my dad was mad into it. But then I was like, I hated it because people are telling you what to do, and like saying you can't do this, can't do that. But the freedom of bikes called freestyle BMX for a reason. I make the tricks up. There's no one telling me I can't do this trick, can't do that. Yeah. It's the freedom of it all, and that's what kind of drew me to it.
Do you think it was like the progression then? It was like learning. There was so much to learn. Yeah. It was like...
so much to learn, and just so much of a buzz as well. And I swear, like, through riding that bike, it's created who I am as a person. Like, the amount of things, I've got no qualifications whatsoever. And we can get to all this in a minute, but the things that like I couldn't read or write when I left. It was absolutely shocking. Like,
Really?
And I obviously do my emails now, but now I've got a manager there. But yeah, like it's taught me like so much, like life choices and life smart. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be all you need to go to school, you need to do this and that. But I wouldn't do it either. I wouldn't leave. Well, I would, but I'm not saying do that. But yeah. But anyway,
I can't imagine what it's like though if your parents are teacher.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah.
Dad works there as well. It's like
it was gnarly.
we had a kid at school who was like that, and it wasn't a fun environment. I don't think for him at all for that reason.
I think that's another thing probably why I didn't like it, just because my parents were there and stuff, and it's like I'd always see mum and dad when I was going between classes, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing, like stuff like that. But like I say, so I'd be sitting in class and it'd be sunny outside, and in between the period I'd be like, I'm going home, I'm done with this. So I'd walk home, and then my mum would call me and say, where are you, this and that. I'd be like, I went to Skatepark, so I didn't feel well, so I went home, but then I felt better, so then I went riding. And because I didn't think I should go back, but or I needed the toilet, so I went home and done it there, and then just went riding. But then so I remember for a while, like I say, I was riding Unit 23 Skatepark. All of a sudden, my whole life felt like it was up there, and I was like, what am I doing down in Stranraer here? I feel like I'm not living the life that I want.
I'm trying to think geographically where Unit 23 is to where you live.
It's far.
Is it
real far?
Even driving it'd be like
driving it's far as well. Yeah, driving it was like 2.5 hours or something like that.
Right, train's longer because
train was longer, 3.5.
So you were 14 and you were getting the train that far.
But like I said, it was like, and I was couch surfing as well. Like so, a day off school would turn into 2 days, and then that turned into a week, and then 2 weeks, and then I remember at one point, came home and my mum started crying one time. I felt so bad. Like I put her through hell because she kept making up all these excuses like, Kriss isn't well today, but then the school were like, I think they thought that I was really ill or something was going on. Yeah. And then, but I was like, I'm fine, just leave me alone. Like everyone just like forget about me. And then obviously at that age, you think that you're a man and you're not, you're only 14. But I remember, and then the police were trying to take me to court, take my family to court because my attendance was non-existent. And I was like, just leave me alone. Like, honestly, I hated it. But obviously it's harder. You can't, like when I look at a 14-year-old, I remember seeing my nephew when he was 14, I was like, man, he's a baby.
He shouldn't be making those decisions.
So I shouldn't, and there's me storming up there and like.
Do you remember in your head, like what was the goal?
The goal was, I actually didn't think I'd be a professional bike rider because growing up, it was always America. I was like, all these people were always in America. It'll never happen to me because it was like a small town, but the passion was there just to ride a bike. And but I also wanted to be, my big brother, he ended up being a joiner, like a carpenter, and I wanted to build ramps for a living. So that's all I wanted to do. And then eventually, I guess, because I went to Unit 23 and I was staying up there, eventually everyone forgot about me. They just let me go.
Really?
Yeah, just let me go. And when I was meant to be doing my exams and prelims, I was helping build the big bowl at Unit 23. I say help him build it. My mates will laugh at this because they were just like shooting me with nail guns and that. I was just like the young kid that they were just like bullying the whole time. But it was the dream, and and then also I guess because I was riding all the time, I got sponsored by Nike as well when I was 14 as well. So that was like a big thing. And I was like, no way, like this. And it was at the Backyard Jam in Sheffield, riding a contest there, and this Nike guy came up and was like, look, we love Kriss's style. Like, any chance that you'd ride for Nike? And I was like, what? Like,
dude, this is a big jump.
Yeah, let's.
This is a big jump. This is you're 14 years of age, getting like hitching rides on trains. Then you're getting shot with a nail gun, and then you get spotted by Nike.
Well, I got shot with a nail gun after, but
so what does riding look like? Like how much do you owe to like the skate park in Stranraer? Like what were you riding like at that point?
Like pretty decent, Like actually, when I've looked back on some, I was in like bar spins to grinds and stuff that I don't do now. And I'm like, I wish I kept doing that because like Garrett's doing all that. Like, and I'm like, just like some of the stuff I used to try flares. Like no joke, but I used to try them the opposite way. Yeah, with no mats, no nothing. Like, and I'm like, I just land on my head and then just like get up. And like you just bounce different, don't you? But I used to try loads of stuff, 540s over the spine, like craziest stuff, and just absolutely.
So how would you categorize your riding now versus then? Like, because I certainly remember there was like a turning point where park meant Dave Mirra, Ryan Nyquist, and now park means something a bit different. I would say like park looks well. I mean, it's in the Olympics now, and then street came about.
Yeah.
And where would you categorize yourself in all of that?
Well, like now, I don't know. Like I don't know. We know what I am now, because it's like just because I ride mountain bikes as well. Like when people ask me, I'm just like bike rider, because I just enjoy, like I love street riding. Like I've got so many street parts and stuff like that have came out over the years. But I've also loved skatepark stuff as well. And yeah, I just don't like the contest side of things. I never have. But yeah, and then I love mountain biking now. It's like my new fresh thing. But I don't know. I want to ride everything. I get bored if I ride one thing. If I just stick to riding one bike or one thing, then I'll get bored.
Yeah,
that's sick. Beyond classification, dude. That's cool. That's where you want to be, I reckon.
That's
nice.
I don't know. A really good term, that.
Yeah.
I love that. So at 14, do your first comp in Sheffield, Backyard Jam. I think I went to that.
Yeah, with the green ramps.
I think, Sheffield was that one.
But that was the last one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You said that your parents kind of like left you alone, but was there a bit? Go on. Sorry.
So mum and dad, they helped me to go to Sheffield for that one. Yeah, and they took me down there.
Because you're like, look, there's something here, maybe.
Yeah, I'd heard about it. Oh, that's what it was. It was because I was riding the unit. I'd won like the Backyard Jam qualifiers that was there. Okay. And the final was in Sheffield, and I was like, Mum, I've won this contest. Like, but the final's in Sheffield, but I can't get there. So mum and dad took me down to that, and then I was riding there, and then this guy came out of nowhere. Chris Morgan, his name was, I still remember it. And he came up and he was chatting to mum and dad, and he was like, "Hey, he's like, we love your son, like Chris's style. We'd love to like hook him up with Nike and stuff like that." And I was like, "What, like Nike? Like, no way!" And it was Nike 6.0, yeah. But I couldn't believe it. And then after that, I used to get. Honestly, you should have seen the amount of shoes and stuff that I used to get.
No doubt.
It was unbelievable.
But like where was Chris Morgan, right? Yeah. Where would he have seen your riding before this? Like what? Didn't. He just seen you at this event. Who's this kid from Scotland? Yeah. Literally, he's got a future in it. Yeah, and then, dude, that's so cool.
And I think that was a kind of turning point, because that was me being young, thinking, damn, like maybe it can happen. Yeah. And I remember seeing like Chase Hawken that event, and I was like, he's my favorite rider in the world. And and then I was like, I remember being so happy about that.
Mate, first sponsors Nike.
Yeah.
So at this point, where are you living? What's you're at?
That's me kind of between home and couch surfing.
Okay, got you.
Age. Yeah, not in the unit yet. Moved into the unit, we'll get there. But like, it's a long story to get there. It's like a gnarly one. But I used to live in, so I was like between home, but not really that home, home that much. And I was living in Blantyre, like couch surfing, which Blantyre is a real sketchy area.
Is it okay?
Like, stayed there one night at my mate Ryan's house, and we went back to his house one night, and there'd been a murder next door. They taped the whole street off and that. Like, it was so gnarly. You go to the skate park and people throw darts at you.
Really?
Honestly, Blantyre skate park.
Okay.
Absolutely gnarly.
So you're just like these are all just friends that you've met through the skate park.
Yeah, through riding unit. I guess like it'd bring everyone there and meet people from all over the Glasgow area and that, and I go and stay with them for like a couple of weeks, and then from there I go stay with my mate Mad Mickey, was called, and I'd stay with him for a couple of weeks. But I would always I'd stay until I get kicked out pretty much. But I didn't know what I was doing like that. I just wanted to ride my bike. But yeah, couch surf for so long, like honestly for so long.
Was it kind of okay that you weren't going to school at this point? Were you everyone
let me go, which was
it's not happening.
Amazing. But I didn't have any money or anything. Didn't have like people just trying to like look after me. I'd live on Pont Needles or that at their house and stuff. Like,
what were you? Were you super happy that you were getting to ride every day, or did you feel in some way a bit between sofas?
Nah, I just loved riding my bike, and like I actually enjoyed that side of it. I was like, this is like, because it felt as if, I don't know, I loved that. I absolutely loved that. And then and then from there, like I was really pally with, because I've been going to Unit 23, I was really I got really good friends with Chaz Maley and Connor Maley, and their dad owns a skate park, Chick Maley. And so I stayed with them for a long time. Chick took me into his house and that, looked after me, would cook me dinners, him and his wife and stuff. And I was like their token son. I just moved in, and like they like proper looked after me. And it was incredible what he done for me.
Do you think people were worried about you?
I don't know, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Or when's this guy going to go home? And I just didn't, like.
You're obviously pretty switched on, though, at that age. Like, if I'd left home when I was 14, I don't think, I wasn't smart enough to get by. I wouldn't be, I wasn't able to, like, look after myself and stuff, I don't think.
Yeah.
True. I wouldn't, confidence as well. I was pretty shy, I think. At 14.
Same.
I wouldn't have asked for anything.
No, I would
I
have
think
been.
I'm not
it's
saying you're
just-
asking, but like.
Yeah, well, that was it. Like, I was so quiet as well.
Yeah.
But I went through hell and back to ride that bike, and that's what I feel like I was doing, just to ride it day in, day out. And it was, but I loved the journey. Like, it was incredible. And eventually I overstayed my welcome there for a bit as well. And then he was like, that's when it hit rock bottom. That's when I was like, actually, am I going to need to go home here or what? And and this was me just about to turn. So I'd been doing that for a good couple of years, and this was me just about to turn 16.
Okay.
And he was like, if you want, because I was like, I'm going home here. He's like, if you want, he's like, you can live in the skate park. And I was like, what? I was like, just about to turn 16, like, and I was like, that's like every kid's dream, pretty much, being told you can live in here. So.
Dude, that's all I knew of the story that you lived in a skate park.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I thought, whoa, that is so cool. Is it literally like under ramps? What did it look like?
Honestly, I cannot believe like what I used to live in. But yeah, like it was I slept on like a 2-seater couch for like a year in the office, but it was like so cold. But Chick looked after me. Like, he bought me this sleeping bag. It's called a Bersit. And it's like they use it in like Antarctica and all that. It's like proper, like you could walk around in it, go to the toilet and that. But it was one of the scariest things ever. But like, so during the day when I was riding there and my mates were all there, it was the best
So you
time.
ride all day?
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah, pretty much. But it'd be the best time ever. I'd be having so much fun. Then nighttime would come, everyone would head home and he'd lock me in there and pull the shutter down. It's just me in there. But this place was like, it was super scary. It'd been used like back in the day in the war to build parts of planes. And then from there it was a distillery. And then from there, it was derelict for years.
Right.
So, and it was huge. And it was so creepy. Like, and I was like 16. And it was so scary. Yeah. And all this time, my mum and dad didn't know I was living there. They thought that I was living at someone's house. So, and I didn't have any washing machine or that to wash my clothes. So I was stinking. Like, no joke. Like, I was absolutely stinking. I used to have to like try and wash stuff in the sink and rinse it out. I didn't have any money to eat either. So I was living on like Sweeties candy out of the cafe in the skate park.
Yeah.
And then Chick would cook me. Chick was the guy that owned it. He would cook me dinners every once in a while. I'd have like a real nice like steak pie and that. So he looked after me, but yeah, it was crazy when I think about those conditions. And I'd call my mum off the office phone sometimes as well and be like, I'm okay, like this and that and all this stuff, and she just didn't really click on anything. And then so that went on. I lived there for a year by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's very impressive. How did you get by then without money and stuff? It was just on the.
I lived in that skate park, like literally, like I never left.
You were joking on the way here about went grey and stuff.
Oh yeah,
because you weren't going outside.
Oh, man, I swear I've like shaved years off my life probably, but it was honestly it was real gnarly what I used to live on, like, and it was I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, after a year went past me living on this 2-seater couch in the office, and it was freezing at night, but sure enough, the next day would come around, I'd be riding and I'd be like, this is why I do this. I love it. And also when I was 16, I got sponsored by BSD.
Okay.
And they were the first kind of company to start letting me like taking me places and traveling and stuff like that.
Do you mind me asking you something real quick?
Yeah.
You got your Nike deal at 14.
Yeah.
Was that a paid?
No.
Just shoes?
No. Nike was just
flow products.
Shoes and clothes, but
okay.
I swear the amount of shoes that I used to have a mountain of shoes in Unit 23. I've still got a mountain of shoes in there.
Have you really?
Yeah, I've never wore. They're still in there, but I give them away to people and stuff.
Wow.
But there is still some in there. But yeah, people will be asking now next time they're at Unit.
Where's these shoes?
Yeah.
Any Jordans in there?
Yeah. But yeah, no, it wasn't a paid deal off Nike. It was just free stuff.
Right.
And then BSD got sponsored by them when I was 16, and they started taking me places like France and Spain and all that, and then America and all that. And I was like, and then they were the first ones to start paying me as well.
Okay.
But it wasn't much. It's like £100 a month or something like that. But I was like, oh my God. This is, I can, like, that was a lot of money to me.
Yeah.
I mean, to not have anything.
But what was it like going away then? Because you're so like used to the confines of one essentially hanger, aren't you?
Yeah.
What was it? First trip away, do you remember what it was like?
Blew my mind, yeah. Like, it felt like I was in Roadfields or something like that. Like, it was all I've ever wanted to do. It was travel with my bike and that, and yeah, like, never thought it would happen. And then there I was doing that on a team with people, riding with people that I've looked up to for years, and then actually started to get paid to do it. I was like, why the hell are they paying me to ride my bike? Like, this is nuts.
Were you doing the odd comps as well or not?
Yeah, a couple of
comps.
But I hated them. Still to this day, I don't like them.
Yeah.
But
how were you doing at the comps?
Me.
Were you like getting good results, or was it?
Not really. Nah. Like, I just didn't like them. I go to practice and that, and I just didn't practice because I didn't want to snake people. And at the end of the day, I was like, I ride my bike because I have fun, and I'm not having fun here. I was like, I'm just you're racing to hit a jump box or something. And it's like, it's just not fun for me. And then I'm riding in front of loads of people, and you only have 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, you know, do you know what it is? 60 seconds pretty much to do what you want to do or whatever. And I can't do that. And then, so for me, like when I did start traveling and stuff and going to contests and that, I just said to my sponsors, I was like, I feel like this is a waste of money sending me to these places because I don't enjoy it at all, and I'd far rather put that money into like a video or something like that and start filming. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, that's great because that's all we want you for anyway, like as long as you're happy doing that. And I was like, well, that's a dream come true.
I was going to ask you that, like, what did brands want out of an athlete at that point? Like, you're 16, I'm trying to do the maths, but like social media's
it was more
like, what is it? What did they want?
It was just like web edits, wasn't it?
Right,
So, and that's all I wanted to do with BSD. So me and Dave Sowerby and like he was the guy I used to always film with. Okay. And I used to have that's all I wanted to do was film with him or go on trips with people and film and then just get views and stuff, and that was it. But I liked I liked the video contest side. Like each year, like Ride UK would do like web edit of the year or like street rider of the year or like stuff like that. And I won a few of them, which was cool. And that's what I'm passionate about, like doing that. Yeah. So, but going back to the skate park thing there, sorry, we're jumping around a bit, but I lived there for a year by myself, and then one of my friends moved in, Quinny, and he was a pro rollerblader at the time, and then there's a little room through the back, because now I had my mate, I was brave enough to go through the back, and we were sleeping in the workshop, but we shared a bed, me and him, we shared this pull out sofa. So we'd share that, and he didn't have any money either. So me and him were sharing underwear and all that stuff. And he was wearing all my Nike shoes and stuff. Honestly, no joke.
Oh, sharing underwear, of mates.
Yeah, sharing everything. No joke. Honestly, gnarly. And then I remember
meeting in the park and stuff.
Was that?
Just meet in the park and then.
Yeah, that's how I met him. Yeah,
you were like, "Hey, I live here. Do you want to live here?
Yeah,
do you want to move in?"
Yeah, well, he stayed in. Like we had a party one night, and he stayed, and then he's like, "This is amazing. I could move in here," and I was like, "Do it." and then he done it, and then after that, it like. Me and him were there for like a year or two, just me and him. But then it was weird. We always call it like Lost Boys because it was like a magnet pulling all these people in. Then all of a sudden it was like all of these other guys from around the UK would come stay for the weekend, but that would turn into a week. And then it'd be like there was always one that would hang around, and then now like we're my closest mates, and my mate Summerton that he came up for a riding trip from Newcastle and just never left. Now he lives up there.
It's funny how you say like a year, and it's not like the short periods of time. It's a long time to share a bed with someone and
honestly,
underwear.
It's
not like a quick couple of weeks and move on.
No, it was a long time,
formative years of your life.
That's what I was just gonna say, like you saying Lost Boys as well, like you're literally, if they're the formative years, then you are literally BMX, like to your core, without sounding cheesy. It's like you grew up years that people are normally like getting their first jobs and doing this stuff. You're in a skate park.
We were in there,
It's insane. We were getting paid the first bit of money you ever get paid.
Yeah.
And that's through riding your bike in a skate park that you were growing up in.
Yeah.
Sleeping under ramps, sleeping on sofas. Mate, what an insane story, dude.
Yeah, it was gnarly. Like, but like I remember as well, we had like a rat problem as well at one point. Like, it was bad one year. And we'd be in this room in the back, and we'd be sleeping in there, but you'd feel rats run, like no joke, over the sleeping bag, and we'd have shovels try to kill them because they were like cats. They were massive, but we were right beside the River Clyde,
right?
So they'd come in there, but but that was gnarly. That was like quite a gnarly one, but we'd laugh about it, and it's like, but the rats were gnarly as well. I remember you'd corner them, and they'd be like screaming at you and that, but like Yeah, I'd never hit them or anything like that. I would
No.
be too scared. I'd be running away. But it was, yeah, they were gnarly. But yeah, and then from there, they're like, at one point, there was 12 of
Sorry, did you have showers and stuff? Like what?
Yeah, you should have seen that.
Yeah,
it was like
bad.
a scene out of blooming Train Spot. It's bad. It was real bad. Yeah, I feel like you go in there, you come out dirtier. It was
Really?
always blocked as well. So if someone got in before you, you're always standing in like that much of like filth of their water. And
I'm just thinking like the time when similar age of being in a skate park and like the feeling of when you come out and you're just sweaty
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
gritty and like but then you're like staying there and going to sleep.
yeah, waking up still like sticky from like
Yeah.
riding the night before.
Next day, do it again.
I mean, so you're 16 at this point. It must have just felt like a really long summer holiday.
Pretty
Like,
much.
what did it feel like real life, or was it like?
No. And that's when I think back to it, I never once doubted that it wouldn't work either. Like, it was always just like, I never doubted anything. It was just always just like, just constantly thinking of like, just keep going up and just keep going. There was never like, what if? Like, or what am I going to do? There was never any of that. I just enjoyed the ride for what it was. And it just kept going and going and going. And then here we are like doing this, and I honestly can't believe it, but.
I mean, this is the highlight, isn't it?
Oh, this
Of
is
course.
yeah, right, here we- yeah. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like honestly, I never ever take it for granted. I still can't believe that it worked out the way it did,
Yeah.
and it's been a hell of a ride. But the things that I've seen, the places I've been, the things I've experienced, the people I've met,
Yeah.
all through riding that bike, it is unbelievable,
Whoa.
honestly. But
Let's have a quick moment, cut to an ad break, get back into this rather crazy story.
yeah,
Davey, I want to talk to you about hindsight, dude.
Oh,
Right.
hindsight.
So much bike crime happens in the UK,
Mm.
and I dread to think how many people think, oh, I listened to that LAKA ad on the Ride Companion, and I wish I'd just carried it out, got insurance for my bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, mate. You're right. So we're here to help, are we? Or is that what we're going to do?
Well, we are here to help, but
Yeah.
what I was kind of thinking was, I wish I could do the same with health insurance. You know what I mean? Because I'm banged up. I wish I could have just...
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
That's how I feel right
A lot
now.
of people live shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, and so many people do with bike theft and like I am right now, wishing
Hindsight
that
is a gnarly thing, isn't it?
It is,
sometimes
dude,
you're like,
yeah.
let's say, unfortunately, you have a bike stolen or you get injured and you just think, oh, imagine that time when I was sat in a chair
Yeah,
on the website
yeah,
ready to do it, and all I needed was maybe like a bit of a nudge, a bit of a deal,
yeah.
which we can offer.
Well, for bikes, obviously,
Yeah.
you go to LAKA. What do you do for health? Because that's obviously
Well, yes, you can also go to LAKA. I didn't know this either until recently, dude, but LAKA now offers health and recovery insurance. So,
What?
do you want a couple of facts?
I'd love a couple of facts. It's not already in my bike cover, is it?
It could be. Depends which bike cover you've got.
Okay,
It
carry
could be.
on.
So it's a new kind of recovery policy for mind and body.
Right.
Made with cyclists in mind for less than an Americano a week. Depends where you get Americanos from.
They're only like
What? A couple of quid?
a couple of quid.
Cover that goes wherever you do, which is worldwide, like you, Mr. Worldwide.
Oh, thank goodness.
The
I didn't want
pitbull of
to.
mountain biking.
I didn't want to ask a question.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for doing. answering.
Cover that does whatever you do, which is cycling. You.
I like cycling. Yeah.
Skiing.
Not got the bunts for
Maybe.
skiing, but maybe one day. You never know.
Hiking.
Hiking, I like hiking.
Like
I've been doing a lot of it lately. I'll tell you.
Surfing.
Surfing, I'd love to be able to
Big
surf, but I
surf
need
guy.
to swim first.
Yeah.
But it's good to know.
And jet skiing.
Jet skiing's on there. Are you serious?
Yeah, you got a jet ski.
They put jet ski on there.
Yeah, you got a jet ski on there. It's 5-star claims experience, home or abroad. And it's made super simple, dude. All you have to do, head to laka.co. Obviously, we talk about laka.co quite a lot.
Laka.co.
They do the best bike insurance. It's made super simple. They flipped insurance on its head, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They don't charge you a fixed sum every month. You only pay for what the collective has sort of, what would you say?
Dealt with.
Yes, exactly. So you
And the
pay-
same goes for health as well, does it?
Same goes for health as well, does it?
Wow,
Yes, it
that
does.
is a cool model, that is.
Yeah, really cool. It's mate, I love LAKA.co. I'm glad we've got them back on board. And we have got a bit of a deal for the companionship, right? So all they have to do, head to LAKA.co to sort your bike insurance out. Enter the code RIDECOMPANION30. What is it?
Ride Companion 30. Is that lowercase?
Uppercase.
All
And it's
up.
on screen. It's flashing red and blue.
Oh yeah.
That's Ride Companion 30 at LAKA.co.
There you go. And what do you get for that? What is it like? What's the offer?
You're going to get 30 days free bike insurance.
Free.
So for 30 days.
It's free.
30 days, you have 100% peace of mind for free. Man, it's a dream, really, isn't it?
It's really good.
Yeah.
You could be really cavalier.
Yeah,
in
you
those
can.
30 days.
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
No. Yeah. Good point.
But you could. So yeah, that's 30 days, free insurance, bike insurance, not health and wellness, with code RideCompanion30 that's flashing red and blue at LAKA.co.
Amazing. So good to know they do health insurance. I'm going to get that added onto my policy right away. Right, that was a good ad break, wasn't it?
So good.
So I'm interested at this point. What were your like sort of goals in riding? Obviously, you've talked about like video parts, but what does that mean like on a bike? Like, what were you going for?
I guess I don't know. I just wanted to just keep riding and keep doing the videos, and like I looked up to like Harry Main videos, a lot of those non-stop videos and that he was doing, and and just like pretty much just wanted to do that. But he was like pioneering it with like 360 foot jam and stuff like that no one had ever done. I wanted to do stuff like that, but with my twist on it, like get creative and express who I am as a person and get my kind of what I have in my head and kind of do that. So yeah, I feel like I would always go to Skatepark, and when I was filming these BSD sections, like try and use everything that's in, like, if I'm doing a line, try and use everything in the best way possible that nobody would expect.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the riding that I like of surprise almost.
Okay.
Interestingly, when I watch you ride, it's always like you're not like going for one single banger necessarily. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, because I could be wrong.
No.
But like it's like a line, or it won't be one trick. It'll be like tricks back to back. Would you say that's accurate? Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. Or if I do figure something out, that's why I like bull riding in that. Because you'd figure something out and be like, right, I'm going to link it into this. And I wonder if I can turn that tight to like go this way or like go that way. So it's just like always linking it and flowing really, and just like, looking for that feel and chasing it all the time. But yeah,
like you said, that's like adding the creativity as well. That's like the next level. It feels like it's like you can learn the trick, whatever it is that you're trying to learn, but then adding your flair on top of that. That's like so obviously for me, it's like so above and beyond anything I can comprehend.
Right. Cheers.
Yeah. What does that look like though? Let's say, and this might be a dumb question, but let's say you see Harry or someone do that trick, 360 foot jam. How do you then go, right, how do I put the Kriss Kyle touch on it?
On that? I don't know. Because I loved what he done, but I could never do it. Well, I could do it. I did do it. But it's like, I don't know. I just try and take little things from everyone really, like people that I look up to, and then try and think, how could I love like Dennis Anderson's riding, but I also love Chase Hawk's style. Yeah. And it's like, how would you combine that with like, and then other people I look up to as well. It's like just combine all that with like tricks, but also the tech side, but then also the flow side. Right. So I don't know.
It's not necessarily just one trick that you put flair, and it's the whole package.
It's like the whole thing, I think, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
But and then just ride. I don't know. ride the way I do. I don't know. That's a tough question, but
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's mega cool to hear you say it, because from the outside, if you don't really know like BMX, like obviously I've always looked up to BMXers, but I think maybe in mountain biking we like want classification. So you're a dirt rider, a park rider, a racer.
Yeah.
And like it's really blurred now in BMX, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's like, I don't know. I feel like BMX, it's changed loads. Like it's changed so much since like back in the day when it was like almost like old school, That's what it's like. But yeah, it's like it's totally different. I feel like it was just like one thing. It was like kind of like the Road Fills era. It was just like BMX was like, that was like skate park, trails, street, you rode it all. Yeah. Whereas now it's like, it's like you're either like it's in the Olympics now, isn't it? And even that's like a total other side to it. It's like those guys are doing the most insane stuff. But then look at the street side of it as well. It's all like flat ledges, flat rails and stuff. It's like totally different. But it's like there's still so much of everyone doing everything. There is still a lot of that, but quite a lot these days you're one or the other. Yeah. Which back in the day we were everything.
A bit of everything.
Yeah.
What's I know we're jumping around again. What's your view of BMX being in the Olympics as a very core BMXer.
I think it's amazing. Like, with it being in the Olympics, I think, because only good's going to come of it. At the end of the day, they're showcasing that to like millions more people that would never see BMX, really. Do you know what I mean? So, and then with that comes, kids are going to want to get into it, so they're going to buy bikes, their parents are going to buy bikes, comes in more money, bigger sponsors, and then everyone gets paid, and then it pushes it up to, elevates it again to another level. And then people can have good careers out of it, and it could be a proper job for someone out there.
Okay.
Living the dream. So, yeah, keep going.
So how long did you live in the skate park for?
8 years. Yeah.
8 years.
8 years, yeah. Yeah, 8 years.
8 years, a lost boy.
Yeah.
Did it feel like a lost boy by the end of it?
No, I don't know that. No, well, I don't know. Yeah, nah. I feel like that created who I am as a person. That place. And I got it tattooed on my neck. Actually, I got Unit 20.
I noticed it earlier. Yeah.
But that was one of the first tattoos I ever got.
Wow.
But
did it get like easier to live in a skate park?
It did. Yeah, it definitely got easier because as it went on, it was pulling in all my other mates from like different parts of the country, and we were all living there. But it was amazing as well because like I was still so young, but I never had a mum and dad that could say, "Don't do this, don't do that. You need to be at this time." We were riding till whenever we wanted. Chick was super cool. Let us live there. Like ride till whenever we wanted. We'd party every night. Like there was no one telling you what you could and couldn't do.
Yeah.
And it was the freedom of that. And yeah, at one point there was 12 of us living there. Yeah, and then at one point we ended up building a mezzanine up the back, and we built like it's like a hotel. Like for those of you that a lot of you probably have been, like a lot of people that are watching this have probably been and stayed there, but we've got like a mezzanine heading up the back, and it's like you open the door and it's laminate flooring the whole way down. Like these lights come on. It's proper. We had a hot tub as well at one point, but the hot tub was grim.
I can imagine.
Oh man, it was in this room with like no windows. And I think at one point, and it was like I think it was only like a 4-man, but at one point we had like, I think it was something ridiculous, like 18 people in it, 18 men. Like, it was absolutely rank, man.
So it changed a bit from rats to the hot tub.
But it was honestly gnarly, like stuff we got away with. We were all tattooing each other in there as well. Like we'd fight each other as well. We'd go do like Friday night fights, and we'd just fight each other, we'd get wasted and fight each other. Like it was crazy. We get away with absolute murder.
It's like a rock band or something.
Hey, it's like a movie.
Yeah,
it is like a movie, isn't it?
A great movie.
It was gnarly, yeah. And then, but I always thought like this was my number one thing. I always said to myself, if I ever made any money or anything, I was like, I'm buying a house because I feel like I never had anywhere that I could call home, really. Yeah. And I was like, that's what I want to secure myself, and that's it. And then at least I've got that. Whatever happens in life, I've got a blooming house. So I did that. Spent every single penny I had so I done like we'll go into this one, but like my first Red Bull project. Yeah. It was like big one was like Kaleidoscope, and that was like first massive project. That was like such a mad experience working with like actual proper movie film crews on that, which is nuts. But on that, Sony came on board with that one as well, and like doing like adverts for them, like for this phone that they had at the time. But I remember they gave me more like, and I wasn't paying tax or anything because I wasn't making enough money before this, right? And then and then they ended up getting, so they paid me like 60 grand at like, which I can't believe that. That's like,
you're living in a skate park at this point.
I was still living there to get that 60 grand. I was like, I cannot believe that this is like the most amount of money that I've ever known anyone to ever have. Yeah. And so I got it, and I put every single penny of that into my first house. I was like, that's a deposit right there, and I bought it. And then, but I didn't realise that I'd get hit with a 20 grand tax bill after it because of what I was doing. So I done myself in a bit.
Stinger.
But I remember getting that house and I bought it, and then I went into it with my girlfriend, and I remember my girlfriend's dad coming around, and there was nothing in it. I just had a mattress on the floor, and he's like, "You can't live in here. You can't stay here tonight. You got nothing in here." I was like, "Mate," you don't know where I've been living. I was like, "There's no rats." I was like, "I don't care. I'm staying here. This is it for me. I'm here." So I slept on the mattress for a couple of weeks. No TV, no nothing. And we didn't even have enough money to buy a sofa or anything like that. So I used to, what was it called? Gumtree, where people giving free stuff away. Yeah. So I went to the old folks' home with my friends, and I got 2 sofas out there, and and then I had a sofa, and then from there I just kind of built it up piece by piece. People would give me stuff, and then But
what was it like first night? out of the skate park.
Amazing. Honestly, like it was
good.
oh mate, it was unreal. But that tax bill though got me. But
Yeah,
I didn't know
no
any
doubt.
different, and I was so gutted because I remember having to pay that like when I finally did pay it. But it was like it was so much money, and I'd never had any money, and I'd like worked hard to get that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll never forget typing those digits in on the thing and then hitting send, and I was like, I can't believe it. They just took that money off me. I can't believe it. So, but it was the best thing I ever done was buy that, and then and it was best thing.
You
best
buy
move
near
ever.
the skate park as well?
Yeah, I did,
Like
yeah.
next door.
Yeah, no, I was only I was next village over, but I'd cycle there every morning and
Yeah.
then ride there every day still.
Wow.
But I'd still stay there as well the odd night, just to partying out with my friends. It's good, and even to this day, like I've got another house now, but I'm only 20 minutes to the other side of it now.
Oh, yeah,
so
really? Yeah.
I'll never move far. That place is like it's unbelievable, and like my friends that are there, like I know it's cliche to say, but they're not friends as brothers. Like they are my brothers,
It's a
and
different-
go for hell and back for any of them. They're unreal, those boys, and they'll never till we're old men. I reckon we'll be tight.
Wow. Mate, it's such a badass story.
Yeah,
It really is. I feel like we've jumped around a lot.
yeah. I hope these people can make sense of it.
Oh, mate, it's rad. It's rad.
But,
So, like, I mean, you mentioned your first big project then, which was for Red Bull. When did you become a Red Bull athlete then?
so
And how does that come about, living in a skate park?
yeah, so Red Bull one was this was one of the best things that's ever happened to me as well. I know that sounds daft to say, but it generally was, because I was riding a contest that I usually don't like riding, but I was in Madrid riding a contest, and well, actually no, we'll go back to the very start of it. The very start. So I was riding this event called the Nike Pool. You guys ever see that one?
Yeah.
And it was like in Dagenham, that swimming pool.
Yeah.
So I was riding that, and then supposedly there was my team manager from BSD was there, and he was in the crowd, and he was like, there's a guy that was talking to me, and he's like a Red Bull manager, Rich King, and he was like, he's like interested in you, but I think he's looking at a few other people, so not sure. And I was like, all right, cool, like sick. But me being me again, it's like, oh, it'll probably never happen to me. And then sure enough, like after a couple of weeks went past, then I got chatting with him, and then they started like sending me to Woodward and stuff as like a non-branded athlete, but like helped me out so much.
Wow.
Like took me to Woodward, which was a dream come true, and paid for everything. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And then so that went on for like a year, and then I was riding a contest in Madrid, Sergio Le's contest called Red Bull Metro Pipe.
Okay.
It was cool as well. That was like the real sick one. That was down. That was back when contests were actually so sick when I think about it. But still cool now. But yeah, like it was in like an old metro station, and they built this line. It was like a doubles, so you're riding with someone else. But yeah,
I feel like they used to get away with a lot.
yeah, back then.
Innit?
Yeah, it seems like that. Yeah. Whereas now it's a lot harder.
Seems harder, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
definitely.
does.
Yeah.
So this is Madrid, and it's
Yeah.
underground. Did you say?
Yeah, underground. Yeah. But yeah, and I remember coming third at that contest, and it was on my birthday as well. And then I got they presented me my Red Bull helmet as well that day.
Wow.
So I was like, and for me to come third at a contest, I'm terrible at riding them. That was good. So yeah, like it was, honestly, that was a dream come true. Like I could not believe that.
So that is the thing. You just got presented it. You kind of
Yeah.
knew something might be going
Yeah,
on.
I knew it was coming, but
Something
I was
was
like,
happening.
but when? Like,
Yeah.
when? And then I was like, I can't believe this. And then
Wow.
it was contract signed in that, and I was 19.
You were 19.
then.
Okay.
But
Did you know how much of a help it would be at that point?
I think so, yeah. Just from seeing like what they were doing with other people, and it had been, it's such a massive, and they've always reinvested in their athletes as well with projects and stuff like that. Like especially, so I knew that was like a dream come true, and just embrace it. Wow. And then from there it was Kaleidoscope, and then I got my own Red Bull can as well. I had my face on the can, that's another moment, which was
Unbelievable.
like,
Really,
that
Wow,
was
I didn't know
was
that.
insane.
At this stage, your mum and dad like, biking's all right.
Yeah, he's
It's
all right.
it seems all right.
Yeah, it's all right now. Yeah. No, like parents were always like super supportive with it, and I think they definitely believed in me.
Could they believe it
until
when it happens? I can only imagine it's quite a shock.
I still think to this day we can't believe it. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like no joke, I can't believe that it worked out the way it did.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem real when I even talk about it. Like,
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
so cool, man.
It's crazy.
But it still feels that way.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah,
it's like you try and think back to, well, I think back to some of the projects that I've done with the boys and that, and like get to bring all my friends on it because they build the ramps. Like George, so that's another one. So one of the guys that used to live with me, George Eccleston, he lived in the skate park as well, and he's my like ramp building guy. Okay. He built Kaleidoscope, and he built all the things in like Dubai and stuff. He's built everything that I've ever worked on.
Wow.
And that was always his dream to go and do that. And then I can't believe we're doing it together and we're traveling and that. We're in Dubai on top of the Burj Al Arab building a flat bank for me to jump out of a helicopter. It's just like, yeah, like what? Remember, like we used to live in the unit. Like what happened?
Yeah.
But
so Kaleidoscope was that an intimidating thing? How did it come about?
Yeah. So that was like through Red Bull I always wanted to do something big, and then they were like, what about doing this idea? And I guess it was kind of like similar to like Danny's Imagine It, because that was like something that I'd love. Yeah. Like that was insane, and I wanted to do something not totally similar, but like my BMX, like on a BMX version of something like that. And then they got in like Ridley Scott and that, and this massive production crew.
I didn't know it was Ridley Scott.
Yeah, that was pretty intimidating, but I didn't know who that was at the time or anything like that, so I was like, didn't really know. But I remember the first day of filming though was like,
hey Rid.
Yeah, well, I'd been like used to just filming with like Dave Serby, and it's just like skatepark filming, like Brocam stuff, and that was like, you're going on action, and it was like, I was like, no, I want to go now, and they're like, no, you need to go on action. So it's like 3, 2, 1, roll cameras and action, Chris. I'm like, oh, okay, whether you're ready or not, you need to go. And I'm like, all right, okay. So yeah, that took a bit of getting used to. But I remember one thing that was hard on that project was I was trying to do a double peg grind to flare off this rail, and I'd done it once, but I went off the side of the ramp, and I was like, come on, but I battled with this trick for hours, like hundreds of attempts. And I was like, come on, and as soon as it hit 5 o'clock, they're like, all right, okay guys, that's a wrap for today. And I'm taking a run up at this rail like, what? Like, you can't just, I'm so close to getting this, like, no, it doesn't work like that. So I was like, and so down about it, but I think they had a chat with themselves, and they're like, it's not like an actual normal movie. This is like like you need to a bit of leeway for Chris here. If he wants to finish it, then you need to keep going till he gets it done. And then they did.
He starts on action, you stay late.
yeah, literally, yeah. But I still to this day, I like going on action now. Like,
really?
Matty Lambert, when we're filming stuff, it's like I'd rather get a call off him if it's something scary, because I know I'm going. It's like, oh fuck, here I go.
Really, action does it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
What did that film look like to you? Because we can see what we see.
Yeah.
With the black and the illuminations and stuff. Was it the same?
Yeah, it was hard though to ride, because everyone was like dark in there and it was all lit up, so it was super weird to ride, and everyone was painted mad. So and everyone was moving.
So it looks similar, like to you.
Yeah. It was a hard project, but I'd actually love to do another one then. Like I feel like I could do a real good one. Yeah,
I'd love to see one.
Yeah,
I feel like I could do a mad one now.
I think what I thought about it was, all right, you get Ridley Scott involved and you're going to get something cinematic and amazing, but then you might normally think that might hinder the riding. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Kaleidoscope, it was like clear that it was your project as well as theirs. So you were also trying really hard stuff, right?
True. Yeah, everything that we built was my idea.
Right.
And then, like the spiral curve wall and that, I wanted to do all that. Like the foot planting at the pegs that was like round the corner. Yeah. The wall ride, it felt like all that was like my idea, and George, and he built the whole thing. And
are they done in just like production meetings and you just throwing ideas around off napkins or how? Like,
yeah, literally, yeah. Like I've still got sketches at home that are just these, you should see my drawings, jeez. But they're like just stick men on like a BMX doing like these things that I've done. But yeah, it's like to go from having that in your head to then sketching it up to then sit down with like the build crew and that, and then how it's going to look with a production team and all that. It's like, it's a whole process that I love about it.
Really,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I love. And that's another thing that I like about the videos that I do. And that's why I don't like the contest side, because it's like so much more goes into this. It's not just me riding a bike. It's like the whole background of my builder, filmer, editing, the music, everything. And as well, it's like you can win a contest, people will talk about it for a week or two, but you do a good video, millions of people are going to see that, and it's there forever. Yeah, I feel like you get so much more.
We haven't even covered, we've literally just talked about Kaleidoscope. Out of all of the videos you've done so many of these huge projects. Like, just to think that that's the first one.
Yeah, that was a start.
Think of the impact that's had. Like,
nuts.
Yeah, it was the first one, but it's crazy because it's quite long ago now, but it doesn't feel that long ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it goes quick, yeah.
It does go
Too
quick.
yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
So you seem like, or you are, cheery, happy Scottish guy. Was it ever shit living in that skate park?
Definitely, yeah. There was, like, it wasn't all fun and games. There was definitely, times were hard, Like, some nights, like, I didn't have family there or anything like that. Didn't have any mates there that night, and it was grim. Like, it was absolutely freezing. I'm eating a tub of Pringles for my dinner. It was, it got pretty shit.
Yeah.
But sure enough, again, the next day we come around, I'll be riding it. So, yeah, but it was definitely, it was hard.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting, man. All right, we're moving all over. So exciting.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So you signed for Red Bull. First project's Kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
What happened? Like, what went on after that, career-wise? I'm trying to think what your next project was.
Must have changed a few things, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, like, after Kaleidoscope, yeah, like I say, like I bought my first house and stuff, and and then from there everything. And then I got put on Nike Pro as well.
Okay.
Which is a big change for me, which is good. And then I was going on trips of like Garrett Reynolds and that to Argentina with him and Nigel Sylvester, Dennis Anderson, Chad Curley, and and going on these trips. So yeah, it blew up a bit and it accelerated a bit. And then, but yeah, just kept doing what I was doing, kept riding. And then sure enough, there'd be more projects that would come around over the years, like Dubai and I'm trying what else I've done. But I did a few. Yeah, there's been a few, but it's just been from there. That's when I'd say it properly hit home that was like you're a pro rider.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
There's like a pivotal moment, I guess, in careers where you go, okay, now it's a job.
Yeah,
and I'm actually making a living out of it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
When you're hovering in a helicopter above Dubai.
yeah. That's it's unbelievable the things that we've got to do over the years.
How did that project come around?
That one was, the Dubai one was really cool because Red Bull were like, I think they've been approached by like Visit Dubai and
tourist board.
And they were looking for like an athlete that wanted to do something there. And I've always wanted to ride down flumes and stuff, so I was like, I'll do it. Like, so we flew over there for like a recce, which was amazing. Like me and my team manager, a bunch of the boys, and we flew over there and just went round all these amazing locations, like stayed in the nicest hotel, like I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, it was unreal. We're just going around having a few beers, like enjoying ourselves, like, but then also doing work, saying what you can do, and like I reckon. So I said that I could ride these flumes and all that, so all this stuff. But then we got to the helipad, and they were like, "Is there anything that you reckon you could do up here on the helipad?" And I was like, jokingly, I was like, "Yeah, if you give me a helicopter, I'll jump out of that. Like, no worries." And then. But yeah, and then we went down from there and I flew home after that. And then like 2 weeks later, I got a call saying, "Oh yeah, the helicopter's been signed off and all this stuff." And I was like,
"You're like, did I say that?"
I was like, "Okay." And I'm like super scared of heights as well.
Oh, you really?
Yeah, like proper. Well, was like, but honestly, was like proper scared of. So yeah, but the annoying thing was with that, like, I remember my hands were getting sweating out on it, but but it was like, the thing with that project was we flew out at the start of the year, and I remember that got signed off, but that was for like the end of the year, November I think we filmed it when it was a bit cooler. But the whole year I was sweating it, thinking like, I'm gonna need to jump out of this helicopter at the end of the year, and like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but yeah, sure enough, like, we got there, we done everything, and the helicopter stunt was like, we left after the last 2 days for the weather, just to make sure it was all right. But remember the weather, we were getting ready to do it, and the weather came in and we couldn't do it. And I was like, you're so ready to go. I was like in the car park with a chopper and that, waiting to go, and like proper, I'm doing this, like I'm
going on action.
Yeah, like on the phone to the missus, like, I'll call you when I'm done. And then the weather came and the guy's like, I'm not flying. And I remember saying, like, tell the guy to fly up there, I'll do it now. Like, that's not, but I'm so glad that we didn't. But yeah, and then next day came round and it was like, right, off we go. But I'd done it with my athlete manager, Matt Bull, at the time, and he was in the chopper with me. And the way we done it, I was like hanging outside the helicopter, flying up there, but I was like strapped on. He had like me on like a harness thing at the back, like a hook. And he was like, the plan was when we hovered above it, the guy couldn't get exactly where he was in the chopper all the time. He was either going to be a bit higher, a bit lower, a bit out, or a bit this and that. So you just had to hope it was all right. And he couldn't hold it for very long either up there. So as soon as we got up there, but Matt Bull was meant to put his hand on my shoulder when I was unclipped. Like, so he'd unclip me and then put his hand on my shoulder and I'd know that I'm safe to jump. But he says we got up there and I totally forgot everything because I was just dying to jump and just get it over and done with. And he says, luckily, as soon as he unclipped me, he said you were already out and he didn't even get to put his hand on my shoulder. So I was like, till this day, I'm like, oh my God, I'd have jumped out, like still clipped on and just been like, or something. Or
And the bike would have fallen.
Yeah, the bike would have, yeah, that was the thing that But
is it a one and done, that one?
One and done, yeah. One and done. But there was
keen for another go, no?
I actually was, yeah, because because Matty Lambert, he told the pilots to get this other shot and they didn't do it. They were meant to like go around like that, like a tracking shot.
Right.
And they didn't, stayed still and watched it. And then it was like, what's the point of having the two choppers then? We wanted to get like this and that. And I was like, well, I'll go again now. Like, just like amped up. And then they were all like, don't. They're like, we've got it. Leave it. Because we had like all the different angles and stuff. But
because it wasn't just a straight out and done.
That
it was out and then another off.
That was the sketchy thing about it. Because there's two poles. And then also you didn't have long. I think I had like, can't even remember how long I had. So you had to land and then go between these two poles. And if you landed squint, then you're gonna crash and probably break your legs. So it's quite high down onto the other bit. Yeah. So I had to land on these, going between these two poles and then go over, down, and then we built landing. And then there was like a red carpet and then down into the elevator. But that was one of the best feelings because I knew all my mates, like a lot of the lads that I lived in the skate park with, they were all waiting down in that elevator.
Really?
The doors open, like out of the way, and I landed and oh my God, yes! I was riding the bike. I was like, fucking, like it was the best feeling ever.
Can you imagine doing any of this without all of your mates there?
Nah, like that's the thing that I think that's why I'm so fortunate, like to have those boys there all the time. And at the end of the day, you want people that you can trust, like with your life, I guess, technically. Yeah. And I do. I trust those boys. And we have a laugh doing it. Like, and if something's built, like if I need something changing, they'll change it. But we'll laugh at each other and stuff, and like they'll rip into me for changing stuff like that. But yeah, like I couldn't do it without those lads. And super fortunate that we get to travel the world together and do these crazy things. Who knows what the future will hold?
Well, you said you're scared of heights, but it wasn't the only thing you've done at height. So for someone scared of heights, you make some funny decisions.
Yeah, but like I feel like you can just lie to yourself and then you're gonna do it. Like a lot of the time, I just like if it's something scary, like even like going into my mountain bike video, first mountain bike video was like first big one, and again like hats off to Red Bull again for believing in me and just like giving us budget to do out of season because I didn't really have much of a portfolio on mountain biking. I just went into those woods and lied to myself. I'll jump off that roof. I'll do that. Build me this and we'll do all this. And like, I'm looking at that with BMX eyes on me, not like the mountain bike eyes. Like the bike is so much bigger. I'd never even flipped a mountain bike or whipped a mountain bike or anything really. So
how did the mountain bike thing come about then? We'll get to the hot air balloon in a minute, but mountain bikes, were they ever a part of riding when you were younger?
No, just BMX, like for me, through and through. But it wasn't until I bought that house that I was talking about that was in Old Kilpatrick. It was a village over, but I didn't drive, I didn't have a car or anything, so I'd ride my hardtail along the cycle path to the skate park and ride my BMX. But there was trails if I went over the hill to the skate park, so you could do it two ways. So sometimes I'd ride over the hill to make it more fun, but I'd be pinging off routes and wee trails, and I was like, this is actually so sick, and I got right into it. And then from there I was like, I wonder what I could do with a proper mountain bike. And then I got a proper mountain bike.
Mate, it's actually a movie.
Yeah,
it's completely insane. You rode a mountain bike because it's how you got to the skate park to ride your BMX.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely ridiculous. I didn't, if I'm honest, I didn't realise that like the story is quite this insane.
Yeah.
So then you got a mountain bike and you started riding the more interesting way to the skate park, and you realised that there was a lot more crossover. Yeah. What things were similar and what things were different?
Well, for me, it was like a breath of fresh air, to be honest. It was like learning it all over again. You know, BMX is super fun, but it was like that was like learning how to like just even do stupid stuff like a lot of 180 on the ground. That was super hard. Like the bike's totally different. Yeah. And even learning the bike with suspension and everything and how it works.
What was your first mountain bike then? You say it's a hardtail, but
I had a YT. The first mountain bike. Yeah, it was an Arco.
Okay,
I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
but it was shockingly bad. And then after that, I got a YT Capra, which was like the first proper mountain bike. Yeah, and then after that, it was Specialized for the whole way through and through. But yeah, so yeah, it was like a breath of fresh air. And then I got more into it, so I'd start going to like other trails and stuff like that. And for me, it was brilliant because riding my BMX in the cities, you're waiting on traffic or security's telling you to get down off that roof or don't grind that rail. But when I'm on a mountain bike, I'm like wall riding up trees, I'm hitting walls, I'm like bouncing off tree roots, gapping here into there, and I'm not waiting on traffic, and no one's telling me what I can and can't do, and I'm listening to the birds and stuff tweet. So it's like, but it's just like a total different version of that. I'm still getting the same buzz as what I would in a BMX, but it's like street riding but in the woods, pretty much. That's what it feels like. And then from there I was just like hooked on it, and and then both bikes just started riding more and more.
Wow.
That's mega.
It's so good.
Have you discovered, because you've now been, probably you started off just trying to basically ride BMX on a mountain bike.
Yeah.
Whereas as you've gone on, particularly just from watching your edits and stuff, like, do you feel like you've become more of a mountain biker now? Like you get it more?
Yeah.
For it in its kind of the definition of mountain biking. Do you feel like you enjoy a Trans Madeira, for instance? You rode there, didn't you?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I love all aspects of it.
Yeah,
I do, and like I say, it's so new to me. I feel like I'm reliving my whole career again, because I've been riding BMX for like 22 years. So, and mountain biking only probably like the last 5 years, probably. So
it's been really,
yeah. So it's like I feel like I'm reliving it all again, and it's just like I almost wish I'd done it sooner, but then I don't, because it came at the right time. Yeah, and I just enjoy, even to this day. Like I still ride both bikes, obviously, but so I used to beat myself up though when I first got into mountain biking. I was like, mountain bike for 2 weeks straight, and I'm like, I should probably ride some BMX because that's my job or whatever. But then I was like, nah, you don't do that. You ride your bike because it's fun, and the whole reason you got into it was for just fun. So and I'm a strong believer in that. If I'm not having fun, I won't do it, or if I'm into it, I'll just do it. So that's then sure enough, ended up people got behind me in that, and then
so that first mountain bike edit you spoke about is out of season.
Yeah,
was that the first time people saw you on a mountain, like publicly, like ride a mountain bike like that?
Probably
For me, it was
because I'd done but yeah, like I'd done like a couple lot of videos here and there, but nothing like on a scale like that. But that was one of the most stressed I've ever been on a project. Really, just because. What if I couldn't do any of that? I said I'd do all this mad stuff, and I was like, I can't ride my mountain bike like that. What if I've never done a curve wall ride on it. So then we built one in the trees. So I was like, what if I can't do this? What if I can't do that? But yeah, I remember day one, I was like, we've spent a lot of money on this, and a lot of people are here. I might not be able to do any of this. But it was just like, you like yourself. I can't
believe that you go into it with that. Like headspace. It just feels from the outside looking in that's all calculated. Obviously it's calculated. I can do that, just build this feature, but to go into it with that attitude is so mind blowing. Yeah.
Well, we're all capable of doing it, mate. It's just like,
no, we're not.
It's just
thanks for saying it, David. When people watch videos, your edits like this, I don't think probably that comes across, that stress of actually the magnitude of it, of how many people are actually there on site when you're filming. Let's say Kaleidoscope maybe was one of the bigger ones because it was this Ridley Scott cinema team.
True.
How many people are there for each take that you fail, just to put into context for people like listening? And
wow, on that one, probably about, no joke, probably 30 people, 25 to 30 people, right, standing around watching you
do your trick.
So when the front drops on the manual, it's 30 people it affects.
And they're probably looking at me like, this guy's shit.
Okay, now if you're thinking, whatever, it's fine. Think about how you feel when you stall your car at the light. Right? You stall your car at the lights and you're like, how much it panics you. Because like I've not worked on any projects near as big as that, but like the stress, when you talk to someone about it, it's like, you can't get it across, I imagine. I mean, for what you're doing is insane, the pressure. How do you handle that?
I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it's a lot. You put a lot on yourself, but I don't even care anymore. Like I'm at the point now, it's like people are just it's going to take 100 goes. Just sit down.
That's your job.
Like,
that's their job.
Like me and the crew that I work with now is like such a tight bunch of people. But like there's pressure on me though. There is obviously, because you say that you'll do stuff and then it comes to it and it's like, oh no, here we go, I need to do this. But I think I'm quite calculated with stuff that I know I can do. I reckon. Like I know I'm capable of it, and 9 times out of 10 it works. But it's just visualize it as well. Like I visualize everything over and over and over in my head. And I even visualize high-fiving lads and that, and I'll shout down, I'll see you in a minute, I'll highlight, or like, yeah, and it's just, it's honestly, yeah, you just need to visualize it and then you'll turn it into reality. And that's what I have done with everything I've done.
Wow.
That's mega cool, that is.
It is. I think, sorry, go on. Well, we're talking about mountain bikes, so it only feels right to talk about protecting your mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And thankfully, this episode is brought to you by Invisiframe. Kriss,
That's right.
Invisiframe athlete. Olly, Invisiframe athlete.
That's right. You told me earlier you Invisiframe your BMX.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't expect that. That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, well, true, yeah, but it's like something over the years that you're forever bashing your top tubes off stuff, or even scuffing it with your foot doing tail whips and stuff, or tables your knees are hitting it, so it's always getting scuffed up. Yeah. So why not put it on my BMX?
Yeah, it's kind of the best bike in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Might get some for my jump bike. It's one bike that's not protective. Otherwise, my entire fleet is protected.
Nice.
Because Invisiframe has hundreds that you can pick from, all different sizes, all different models. And if you get in touch with them and they don't have it on their website, then you just send the bike out and they cut it for you.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you head to the website, invisiframe.co.uk.
Is that invisiframe.co.uk, Davey?
Yeah, it's flashing red and blue on the screen right now. And you can look at all the products. You can get the right kit for your bike. And they've also got other add-on kits as well. Crank protection, fork protection.
And everything's really reasonably priced.
It is.
So you don't need a code, do you?
I mean, you don't need one. But we could give our
We don't have a code, do we, dude?
We do have a code, mate. We've got a code.
What is it? And what does it give you?
If you enter the code, the Ride Companion, it's going to knock you a whopping 15% off for the next 7 days.
15? Is that the Ride Companion, the code?
That's the Ride Companion is the code, and 15% off is the deal.
Wow, there you have it.
Bargain.
Back to the episode. So the guy who's scared of heights decided to do a project that involved a hot air balloon. Can you talk me through the thought process involved in that, please?
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, yeah, just one of them again, like I say stuff like, like lying to yourself again almost, that you know you can overcome it and do stuff. But this whole project idea anyway came about, it was like lockdown, and I wanted to do something that was different. Like, it was like a bigger one and better one, best one I've done so far, I'd say. And really think outside, what has no one done before? What would I love to see someone do? And why has no one done it? So I remember like walking my dog up the hill behind my house, and just looking out, it was a proper like blue sky, and I was like imagine a floating skate park. I was like, imagine like a floating bowl. And then I was like, but what could you have that under? And then the first idea was like a Chinook helicopter. So I was like, one of them, but then I was like, it wouldn't work because Dubai was like jumping into a tornado out of a helicopter, so it just wouldn't, it'd be impossible with a downdraft. So I was like, that won't work. And then I was like, hot air balloon. I was like, that will. So I got up to the top of the hill and I put it in my phone like hot air balloon and a bowl underneath it. And then I came back down from there, pretty much ran down the hill, and sketched it up, sent it to my rebel manager. I was like, what do you think of this? And he's like, what the fuck? he's like, this looks like unreal. Didn't hear anything for a couple of months. He said he'd like show it to Austria, see what they think. And he called me one day, I was driving into Glasgow, and I'll never forget that either. And he was like, how serious are you about doing this project? He's like, I'm in Austria right now. Everyone here wants to see you do it. Like, would you seriously do this? And I was like, 100%, mate. Like, let's build it and let's go and do it. And so right away we got on it. We built one out of wood, which weighed like 8 tons.
Right.
And we were like, or 8.5 tons. So me and George, the guy that I live with, and that, and Jake, built this bowl. And we designed a bowl that was super tight and like my kind of riding and what I could do in there, because I didn't want to just do a boring half pipe or something, or bowl. But so we built that 8.5 tons that came in it, and then we're like, well, we can't fly that. Like, can you? And then it was like, turns out you can't. It's too heavy. So then we went to Rebel Racing and we're like, can we build one out of carbon fiber? And they were like, yep. Like, I feel like those guys really enjoyed the task of doing that, and it was something totally different, obviously. But they were all sound, so I ended up working on it with them, which was unbelievable.
Unreal,
and to see what goes into that is, it's unreal. And as well, they got it right first try. That was one try. They built that whole bowl. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to take a few attempts or this and that, but honestly, they made this thing out of carbon. And it came in at, I think it was like, was it 2.5 tons?
Wow.
So they shaved off like, so, yeah, it shaved off.
So that was 8.5 to 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah, which is
2.5 tons of carbon.
Yeah. Which is unreal. But I remember going and seeing it, and I was like, looked at it, but it was like super thin. It was like that. And I was like, what happens if a peg goes through it, and then the bottom like smack, and I go through it, but they're like, it'll never happen. You can hit that with a hammer, like as hard as you can, and you will not go through that. But it's like nothing I've never rode before. It rode real fast on the tires, and it flexed as well like a trampoline. So it was a bit weird.
So is that with it on the floor as well?
Yeah, that was it on the floor.
Right.
And it made a weird noise when you're riding it. Like,
did it?
Yeah, but it was insane.
Hey, people got creative in lockdown, huh?
Yeah,
you probably got the most creative out of anyone in the world. I think.
So yeah,
like people went wild in lockdown.
Yeah.
Went really wild in lockdown.
I think that was it. I just stuck at home. I was like, I'm going to use it as fuel and try and think of something that's next level.
Yeah.
But that took long. That took like 3 years in the making. To go from that very first idea to then, especially we wanted to film it in the UK, and you know what the weather's like here. So, and supposedly we needed this wind speed that comes around once a year, and it comes around in like December. And so I was waiting all year. The amount of times that I'd drive down to like Bristol to think that we were going to fly that time or this and that, and we get down there, get to the airfield at like 3 a.m, and then or whatever to start pumping everything up, and then we're like, nah, there's a tiny breeze. I'm like, what? It's not even windy, man. Like, let's just do it. But yeah, sure enough though, it came round. It finally came round, and we got up there, but it was like -5 as well. It was super cold when we were up there, so it was like freezing. And also it swings a lot as well. You can't see that in the video, but that thing was like a pendulum. It was horrible to ride, honestly. Like it was like being on a boat.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess when you got like coping, you have to be really accurate, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, like a case by that much is quite brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which way was it swinging? Were you
Always.
was it like you were pushing it out and then you were overshooting, or was it?
So as you pump, it's like going away from you.
Yeah.
And then as you land again, and it's the other side feels like it's coming back at you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so you're either casing or you're having to pull back or you're having to push through. Like, and then you're also trying to do like tricks on that as well. So it's like, it was hard to ride. And then I also had to ride with a parachute on.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
how did you learn to skydive? Or?
Nah. So originally I actually wanted to, this was my whole process. I wanted to learn to skydive, and at the end of it I wanted to jump out and do it. But I think we thought it was going to be an easier project than it was. And they were saying that I think it takes at least 6 months to do your license. Okay. And then also the height I was at, you needed to be like a pro level, because
like
I was
jumping.
because I was at just above 2,500 feet.
Yeah.
So that was kind of threw out the window. And then I was like, well, I don't want to ride with a parachute on or anything like that. And they were like, well, you need to, because if you fall over that side, you're dead. And I was like, well, people are going to think I'm going to jump out of this and that. But I was like, I'll be fine. But then they're like, but yeah, I'm glad that I did have it on. But that went off automatically. So
how did it? So
if I'd have went over the side, that goes off, but it takes 10 seconds to deploy. And then 10 seconds, you fall 1,000 feet. And I was only 2.5. So the guy was like, it's designed to save your life, not your legs. I was like, all right, nice one. But thankfully it never went. I was more scared of like doing a tabletop over the hip and catching the ripcord, because you could pull it as well. I was like, if I get caught, you know how when you do a tabletop and you get caught in your t-shirt sometimes?
Yeah.
I was like picturing me setting this parachute off in the bowl and then getting dragged out or something. Do you know what I mean? But you said go with it if that happens. Just go over the side. Well, I'm not going over the side, mate. I'll be fighting to get it off.
Somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't imagine someone telling me that.
Yeah.
Just go with it, mate. Like smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, just
go with it, mate. Don't worry. Honestly, don't worry about it.
Like mental, but
we came to that film premiere.
Yeah.
And it was so badass to see. Like, obviously we got to see the bowl in person, which is way bigger than I think it looks on film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was the actual documentary part of it. Has that ever been released? Because that was fascinating. I've seen the edit.
Yeah,
but the actual documentary is that out? Is it?
It's on.
Okay.
I think it's on Rebel site.
The balloon pilot was
so,
such a character.
Yeah, he was a genius.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. Because I guess projects like that, you end up quite close with the people that you're working with.
Yeah, but that's what I like. It was like two totally. I'd never ever like hang around with that guy or anything like. But it's brought us together. Like everyone on that, and like even everyone at like Rebel Racing and stuff. Like to work alongside with those guys. Yeah. Like it was such a massive bunch of people. This one.
Yeah.
So it was like. Yeah, it was cool. And then Pete Dalby, the pilot, was just like, he just knew he could do it right away. But I think and I was like, I didn't really know he did, but he obviously like an older guy that, and, like, and I was like, I don't know if this guy realizes what he's going to be flying here. Like this is pretty gnarly. But I got it, and he was smart though, because I was like, I remember just thinking, oh come on man, just fly it. But he was like, no, it needs to be right. And
Yeah.
and he was right. I was more scared of the landing, because it was
Yeah,
meant
of
land.
course.
I was like, it's going to flip, and then it's going to thingy us, we're all going to burn to death or something like that. That's what I thought was going to happen. So I remember it taking off, and everyone, we were all so nervous, like, how are we going to land this?
Yeah.
It's heavy.
You tested it a bit first, right? Just
No.
going up a bit. No.
Nah.
The first flight is the
straight up. We didn't mess around because we didn't have the weather window, so we were just off we went, figure it out. Or another thing I thought was like, what if it falls from beneath? Like,
yeah.
and that, not only I would die, but those boys would end up at the moon or something like that. I'd just be going up because you think of the weight on that, and then you cut that, like, they'd be gone. At least I've got the chute on. You know what I mean? Like,
They're just waiting for it all to. I don't really understand how hot air balloons work,
No.
if I'm honest,
Yeah.
but I can only imagine you're just sort of waiting there, like,
yeah.
it's gonna have to come down in a minute. Hopefully not in the sea.
Yeah, and the gnarly thing is, like, I never knew, but when you fly a hot air balloon, you never know where you're going to land. You know, roughly, like within a couple of miles or wherever, but you don't know.
It's pretty YOLO, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is quite YOLO. It's a YOLO
Pretty cool.
activity, hot air ballooning.
Yeah,
Isn't it? It's quite cool.
yeah. They just land wherever, really, and then just kind of beg for forgiveness, like just saying, like, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
Whoa.
yeah, but that was
Into someone's pergola.
I feel like
yeah.
is there a project Red Bull I've ever said no to? That must be one of the
Good
bigger,
man to ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That must be one of the bigger, with the amount of funds for the
Yeah.
bowl and blah blah blah.
Like, I feel like I've been dead lucky. Like a lot of mine have went through, but yeah, like I'm super fortunate for it. But
And it's probably a silly question, but is it a case of literally you sit down with Matt or whoever and you like work out what this thing is going to cost?
yeah, each year,
And then
yeah,
pitch it and hope that you can get it.
yeah. I don't even go through any of that. I just sketch up whatever and think, and I'll, yeah, it's flat.
Send a photo.
Yeah,
over.
yeah, literally, yeah. That's a WhatsApp, and I'll take a photo of my drawings and send it and write something, and then and then fortunate enough, I've got a lot of green lights, but yeah, you need to be careful what you say, because
Yeah.
you
You're
never
gonna
know
end up
what
doing it.
you never know what you're gonna end up doing, But
You end
Yeah.
up in a helicopter in Dubai.
I know, yeah. That makes me think that I'm like, there's so many, there's so much more things to do it. There are so many more project ideas that no one's done before. They're waiting to be done, but it's just like, what is that? Like, but there's millions out there to think about. But so I'm forever thinking, what's next and what can you do? But I've got a bunch actually, so hopefully they make it through and get another green light. But
It's cool. You see that as your job. Is
Yeah.
coming up with crazy ideas
ridiculous.
to put
Yeah.
bikes.
Ridiculous things.
Wild, bro.
Yeah.
Holy, that's amazing.
It is very cool. It is very cool. So when you think of just sort of riding now, because as we've gone through this, I feel like the definition of just what you consider yourself is just like a rider now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does it look like now to you? If it's a Wednesday afternoon going for a ride, what would it be now?
Depends what I feel like that day. Like, sometimes I'll go ride to Skatepark in the morning, Unit 23, with like my mate Chaz Mealy and that, and we'll ride in there in the morning, and then from there I'll go home, get the dogs, and then go mountain biking, like out at the trails at Argarten. Go out there and then just ride with the dogs, and then do that. But that's like a kind of average kind of day.
So it's a double dip now. The mountain biking's crept in.
Yeah, like literally. But yeah, it just depends. Some days it's full BMX, or then some days it'll just be mountain bike. It just depends what I feel like, to be honest, and what the weather's saying.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it is. What about e-biking? You e-bike a fair bit?
Love it, yeah. Absolutely love it. I snapped my chain actually though a wee while back there, and I refused to get a new one because I was riding it all the time. So I was like, I'm just going to ride my normal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I was like, I was working on a new project, so I was like, I need to ride that bike more anyway, instead of just going at the garage going, e-bike will do. So I was like, nah, snap a chain, don't get a new one. Wait.
Oh,
till
maybe
we're
I need to
finished.
snap a chain soon. man.
yeah, I know.
That e-bike seeing some action at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. The other one's
They're
just
so
gathering
good though.
dust.
Yeah, so good.
Have you been out with Danny much?
Yeah, a bunch.
Danny likes his e-bike set.
Oh man, yeah. I was chatting with one of my mates. Going to try and get up there and see those boys when I get home. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Try and see
nice.
them.
Double battery mission.
Yeah. Those boys love it. They're mad for it up there. Yeah.
What you did the Joe Barnes video as well?
Yeah. That was like first time probably hanging out with Joe as well. Like,
Was it?
Yeah, like proper. But he's some boy.
Creative genius. That
Yeah,
kid, I feel
yeah.
like.
When he told me the idea and that, and then he pulled out these costumes, I was like, oh mate. But he'd sent me the Inverness one first with like Danny and Greg Williamson and all that, and Duncan that, and all those boys, and I was laughing, so I was like, it's going to be something like that. And then like our section came, I was like, oh mate, what is this, like in the church and that. It's like, and then he sent me it like after that day. I was like, what have I done? And then
Career suicide.
and then like he sent it to me, and then I showed the message, and she was like, are you sure that's all right to go online? And I was like, I don't know. It's like, yeah. I was like,
I loved it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
it was brilliant. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so funny, right? The whole thing is hilarious.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
I got random questions. There's loads of stuff coming into my head. You recently did a Prada shoot.
Yeah.
So how many, silly question maybe, but like how many opportunities come and what do you turn down? How do you like figure out what to do, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
Like what projects do you want to be working on?
If it's something that I'm not into, I'll just say no. But there's like a lot of stuff that comes through, and they're looking for someone to go and do something somewhere, or with a different partner and that.
Yeah.
But it needs to be right. I wouldn't do something just for the sake of it. So
Prada's cool, man. Isn't
yeah.
it?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the Prada one was like a Red Bull project in Switzerland, but they were looking for someone to ride through like the vineyards and do all this stuff, and I was like, I wasn't sure which bike to do it on at first because I hadn't been there and I didn't really know. They sent me a rough deck of stuff, but I was like, some of it looked really BMXy, like in the Old Town. I could probably have done some cool stuff there, but then they wanted the vineyards and stuff, and I was like, damn. I was like, it's more mountain biking, and then when I went, then that made my mind up. I was like, yeah, and I've always wanted to do like a kind of urban kind of style, like mountain bike one as well, like in the Old Town and stuff. So I was like, it's kind of got everything. And then and then they were chatting as well. Prada kind of came on board and were like, we'd love to. They were going to partner with it, and I was like, well, I actually quite like the brand anyway. So I was like, it was cool to do. And then
so the Prada activation was the jacket.
Yeah, and trousers and stuff. So
okay,
it's pretty gnarly. But like Enduro, they're like, well, they're the clothing sponsor that I ride for, and they're incredible. And this is how cool they are. They let me. I said to them, I was like, Prada are like wanting to come and do this project. I was like, what do you guys think? And I obviously still ride gloves and shoes and everything, but Prada, and they're like 100% go with it. Like we're down for that as a one-off.
That's cool.
So I was like, no way. Like, when do you ever get like a sponsor that's as down as that? Do you know what I mean? So, but they totally got it. So it was sick. But they flew like Prada. It was crazy. I went to the headquarters in Milan. Like they flew me out to Milan. I designed my riding trousers there, and like
really?
and like worked with like these designers and that, and it was it was crazy. Like I went in there, they measured me up and everything came out, but their stuff was banging. Like, and again, that was like, it just shows you how good they are. Like Red Bull with a bowl getting that right for the first try, but then also Prada, like clothing's like a hard thing to get right. Yeah. And the first pair of trousers I tried on were perfect, like absolutely perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then working alongside them, and the stuff was cool. They kitted all the boys out as well, like all my build crew, that like George and that wearing like Prada t-shirts and stuff that are probably like 800 quid a t-shirt, and they're just in there sawing stuff and like sawdust everywhere, and like
really,
and just not caring. It was just so funny to see everyone in Prada kit. It was amazing. But to work with a brand like that is super cool, and they're amazing at what they do. And yeah, which is a cool opportunity
for sure
to do that.
It's cool when you see those crossovers too. I think of like fashion into like our world. Yeah,
and they're doing a lot more. They're doing like snowboarding, kayaking, like Prada are doing a lot. Like so, yeah, and that's what we need. We need bigger brands like that coming in, and like because they can fund people like and just elevate the sport again. Yeah, and it's only going to become better.
I think it's kind of smart of Enduro as well, because they realistically know that. They know that Prada's not selling. They're not a competitor. Yeah, it's a different thing, isn't it?
Exactly.
And like, yeah, if you can elevate the sport with an edit, which you truly can, can't you? Like, like I think it's pretty rare opportunity really to up a sport like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that edit was fire, bro. Obviously, that flip in the I can't explain it, in the alley almost.
Yeah. That was just weird because you couldn't see where you're landing, and you're coming down the alleyway, and it's like you just knew you had to ride on one bit, but then it was weird. But now, like, love those projects, love doing them, and doing it with my best mates. So
I love that come up, so cool. Like all of you together, that rising tide lifts all ships thing. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's some
proper badass.
All end up in a vineyard in Prada.
I know.
You start with like rats over sleeping bags.
I know. Yeah, like that's it. Like honestly, it's been some journey, and it is unbelievable. Yeah. Like it is honestly. It generally, and it sounds stupid, but I said it again, but it doesn't feel real. Like honestly. It's crazy.
Hell yeah. I've actually got a question from Rob Horton. who's a trail BMX legend, and it was one I wanted to ask you anyway, and he actually jogged my memory. What is it like going from your big bike to your BMX the whole time? Because I personally go from like a 29-inch e-bike, and then I jump on my 26-inch mountain bike jump bike, and it's really quite a jump for me. And I've never ridden BMX, but that's a massive jump even from a jump bike to a BMX. How do you manage it?
I think I spoke to a few people that ride like mountain bikes and BMX now, and they all ask that same question as well. It's like, how do you do that? And it's like, but I remember when I first started riding mountain bikes, then I go back on the BMX. Even if I did it in the morning, if I rode mountain bikes in the morning and then BMX later that day or something, the BMX would feel so small. Like doing a manual, I'd be like, whoa, like why does this feel so small all of a sudden? But then it's like now, I swear it just feels normal. But it's because I've been doing it for many years now, and I'm chopping and changing on a daily. But it's like the more you do it, the kind of more normal it becomes. But yeah, it's a hard one to overcome. Like it is, it's definitely hard. I think it's harder as well, especially like, I think going from BMX to mountain bike's a bit easier, but I think going from, because I've spoken to mountain bikers, and if they try to ride BMX as well, they're like, I don't know how
twitchy.
Yeah, they're like
the
so
head
small.
angle. The head angle to me is like unfathomable. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to. I feel like I couldn't go around a berm.
Yeah.
Like I'd just tuck.
Yeah. I feel like it's easier to go up than what it is to come back and down at something smaller, I reckon. But yeah, it's definitely hard to go from one to the other, one extreme to the other. I definitely feel it, but just the more you do it, the more it becomes normal.
One bike, rest of your life. One's got to go. What are you keeping?
I can't answer that question.
All right, we'll let you off.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little birdie told me as well that you had a health scare. Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
I don't have much more details about it, but I'd love to know more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's not all fun and games there, but
apparently not.
Nah, I just came back from like taking like a week off there because almost 2 weeks now. But yeah, I was like in Switzerland there, and just.
Is this the edit?
Yeah, just
Prada edit.
No, just
Okay,
back there again
else.
recently, doing some stuff for like tourism boards and stuff over there. And for Specialized, but yeah,
I did see it. Sorry.
Yeah,
of course not. Prada years ago.
But yeah. So recently I was over in Switzerland there, and I was riding with Le Domé, and it was like 6 a.m. we were on this climb, and we're like super high up, like I don't know, 2,500 meters or something like that. But I'm not used to that kind of height, so I think this kind of is a bit to do with it as well. But I just couldn't regulate my heart rate. Yeah, I got up to the top of this hill, ridgeline, and I just couldn't regulate my heart rate. I was like, what is going on here? But I didn't say it to anyone. Everyone was knackered anyway, so I just assumed I was all right. But then I started getting real sharp pain in my chest and stuff, and then couldn't regulate my breathing. Didn't say it to anyone, so I kind of tried to like ride through it. I've never had anything like that really happen. And then even as riding along the little flat bit, as soon as my heart rate elevated at all, I was like intense pain. I was like, I think I might be having a heart attack. Didn't say it to anyone, but I was like, feel like I thought I was having a heart attack, or the start of it. But I was like, nah, I'm all right. Kept trying to talk myself down. And then continuing on, so I hung back a bit. I said to my mate, Matty Lambert, that I film all my videos with, and he's like one of my best mates. And I said to him, I was like, mate, I don't feel right. I don't feel good at all. I was like, I'm getting real bad chest pains and I don't feel good. And he's like, stay where you are right now. Stop right now. I'll go and get the guys. I was like, nah. So I continued on, got up to the guys, and then he told the guys, and they're like, lie on the floor now. And I swear to God, I thought I was having a heart attack. And so I said to them,
racing.
Yeah, like bad. And I couldn't get a deep breath in, like couldn't do that. It was just like short and small little ones, but intense pain in my heart. And I was like, my dad's had 4 heart attacks as well. So I kept thinking, I was like, I might be having one here. And so I lay on a rock anyway, and then one of the guys that we were filming with, he was like, his wife's a paramedic. So he put her on the phone and she was talking me through it, and I was telling her what I'm feeling. And then said to Le Domé, I was like, how do I get off of here? It's the fastest way off of here. And he's like, mate, we are so far away from it. And in my head, I was like, helicopter then, innit? But I managed to lie there, try and sort myself out. For 2.5 hours I lay on this rock. Like, I stood up and I got mad tingling sensation in both arms, and I was like, that's a sign of like stroke or a heart attack or something. And I just thought, I was like, I've just had a son as well, so I'm not dying up here. And then my 3 dogs as well, and my wife, and I was like, I'm not dying here. I was like, even if this heart stops, I'm walking down this thing. And then, but I managed to kind of get myself around a little bit, got on the bike, rode down. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, starting to kind of get scared a little bit. Because I was like, this is definitely the start of something. like, this is not right. I've never felt this for in my life. I got down and checked in the hotel at 11 a.m. and I was lying in the bed and stuff, but lads would just have a sleep, but I couldn't. And yeah, so anyway, long story short, they booked me in at the hospital for the next morning for a doctor, but the director came round, chatting my door, and he's like, I'm taking you now, and took me out the ER and stuff. And it was like proper, that was a scene out of a movie. Like, got in there and the hospitals were amazing though in Switzerland. Incredible. It ain't like back home where we're waiting for ages, like straight in, and they told them heart, so I guess they were like, right.
Yeah.
Straight in a wheelchair as well. They wouldn't let me walk in, I had to get in a wheelchair. I was like, I'm all right. Anyway, got in and there was like 8 people in this room waiting around this bed for me. And there's like, right, get naked. And I was like, what? And they're like, take off all your clothes. I started like taking my hoodie off, and then they're just like unbuttoning my trousers, like, everything off, mate, in front of all these people. I'm lying on this bed. And right away they're like asking stuff, but she just didn't even ask to take my blood. Just started taking blood, but it took a lot, like massive vials of blood, like big ones. And then straight on a drip as well. And I was like, what is going on? Like chill out. And then but he's scanning my heart, and then they're talking in a different language. He's relaying back to the nurse. She's right, looking all worried. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna have open heart. I can't speak. I'm gonna have like open heart surgery or something here. And because I was still getting the pain. And then but yeah, anyway, I told them the story, all that, and then they took me into my own room, and were like, wait for your results. And then they came in and they're like, yeah, like we strongly recommend that you stay in tonight. We've got the heart specialist in the morning to take a look at your heart. And I was like, well, how did it look? And they're like, because I was like, you're looking at it, how did it look, man? Tell me. And he was like, it looks okay from what I can see, but he's like, I can't see what they can see. So and you're an athlete, I strongly recommend that you stay in here tonight, this and that. And I was like, I didn't want it. And I started to feel a little bit better, but still didn't feel right. But I was like, I'm not staying in here, and I wanted to get out. So checked myself out there. And then I got back and I spoke to one of my mates, friends, Paul Ryan, because I started to think that I had a panic attack. Right. So I thought that's what it was, because it's the same symptoms as a heart attack. Okay. And for my heart to look all right, I was like, if I'd have had a heart attack, surely he'd have seen it on that machine. Surely he would have. But so I was like, I'm all right. It must just be a panic attack. So I was Googling that, and then I know you shouldn't Google stuff, but that's what it was kind of bringing up symptom-wise. So I called my mate, Paul Ryan, and I spoke to him because he's had them. And he was like, you feel like you're dying, don't you? And I was like, I fully thought I was having a heart attack, mate. And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's the exact same. He's like, yeah, and you're done for a couple of days after. And I was like, for the next 2 days, I was done. But it was, I went riding the next day as well. That was hard. But fully just think that it was a like massive panic attack. And
really?
Yeah. And I've never had that before in my life. And like,
I guess the initial feeling is, or the thought is like, what were you panicking about? Like, what is there anything going on in life at that time, or like, yeah,
well, that's
do you
the thing,
put it down to anything or not?
No, I like to think that like it's brilliant life that I've got, and don't have anything that I should be complaining about. But then I think about thought of stuff over the years and that, because when I thought I was going to die up there, I was like, it's my own fault for being like 14 and living in the skate park and eating sweets and just like pretty much abusing body and that. And then but yeah, I was like, but yes, I was like, it's probably my own fault and this and that for not being the healthiest or whatever. But then I am pretty healthy, yeah. And so it's just me beating myself up. But then, yeah, but I think I probably was stressed. Like, and I just had my son as well. Yeah. And I had the busiest June I've ever had in my life, like away constantly. And then you come back and you try to be the best dad that you can. So you're burning that at both ends. Then you're up at 4 a.m. trying to go for a run or something. Or you're out with the dogs, and then your mates want to hang out. So then you're going out with them, but then you're only home for 2 days, and then you're away again. And then it's like, and then I think that was my body just saying, "What the fuck you doing? Like, slow down, stop, because next time it might be a heart attack." Do you know what I mean? So scariest wake up call I've ever had. Like proper, honestly. Like, because I came back and I was meant to go straight to the Formula One, to do demos there, and I was like, up for it and that. And then I told my manager Ramon, and he's like, "You're not going." He's like, "I can't believe that. Like, I can't believe you didn't tell me." I was like, well, I didn't want to scare anyone and just keep it. But that's the thing, people don't talk about stuff enough. But yeah, and like, I guess maybe I have been stressed and like, and it's good to admit that and say stuff. But yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Like, it is when you're doing these projects and stuff, and everything you're doing, events and stuff, and it adds up, and you can't do everything. And you think you can, but then your body will just say no. And yeah, so I think I just burnt myself out, and a bit of everything, a bit of altitude, a bit of everything, stress and panicking.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess if all that stress is all just there, then it can be any number of things that could like bring it out. Or whatever.
Totally, yeah. So, and it just took that to bring it out, and not regulate the heart rate, and then it started to panic, and then your mind's your own worst enemy as well. Like once that starts going,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
a panic attack's like a loop, isn't it? It's like a
Yeah.
loop that you can't get out of. Is that right?
I think so. I've not.
I
don't
just
think
hope I
I've
never
ever-
experience it again. It was honestly that was
Oh,
fully
so
thought that was
dear,
it.
man.
Like it was gnarly, but I got like came back and
Give you a wake up call though, like you say.
massively. Yeah, like I've stopped drinking now as well, but I'm not quitting it. But it's like I've stopped like for a month now, and I'm just like, and not that that was like not that that's the cause of it. It's just
Probably
like
just
that
doesn't
and
help
like
when
eating
you-
better and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like I feel like I don't know. I feel like I've just need to a better reality check to just I don't know take more care of myself a bit more and actually and don't take as much on. Like take on everything, but no, not everything, but pick and choose and just I don't know. Like life's precious, and like I wouldn't like
100%,
to
bro.
have it taken away like that. But yeah, for me, it's just like massive wake up call, and I feel like, yeah, I wanna live. Do you know what I mean?
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's pretty
and
cool. You
people
get to
are
go
probably
in
watching.
helicopters and
Yeah.
balloons and shit, and like, you know what I mean? It's cool.
Yeah,
Too right.
but
I've got
yeah.
a good. We've got a load of listener questions. There's actually
Yeah,
a lot,
sick.
and I think this one is good.
Yeah, quick one though. I got my heart checked out by
Oh,
a
sorry.
specialist the other day, and it was like all good. Like
Yeah.
you actually reckoned I might have had like an infection and just like two sacs, one outside your heart, and another one like, well, your heart's in one, and then there's one outside, but it's like a thin layer like cling film.
Okay.
And you reckon if it'd been the sharp pain I was feeling was maybe it snagging in there with my heart getting elevated and like swinging around in my chest.
Okay.
The sharp pain might have been that, but that triggered like a panic attack and all that stuff. But anyway, we're all good. The heart is banging.
We're all good with banging.
Yeah, yeah. So ready to go back to it. But yeah,
Bit steady.
but yeah, just a bit more.
There's a lot to be said for that, man. Slowing down a little bit.
I think so.
Oh,
Like,
man,
and
too
it's
right.
yeah, and I think it's like you think you can do it all, but a lot of times you can't. And like becoming a dad and stuff, and then doing all that, it's like it does. There's a lot. It's the best thing ever being a dad, though. But
Yeah.
but it is. It's just like
It's a lot.
I try to do everything, and then your body is just saying,
It's tough because I guess, you know, being in your position as well and like having opportunity that you would never have seen coming when
Yeah.
you're living in a skate park, fighting off rats with a shovel.
yeah,
Hard to turn that stuff down, isn't it?
yeah,
Like,
totally, yeah. It's like
But life's
Yeah.
different now. You need to.
yeah, and I think that's the thing. I always say yes. I find it hard to say no to stuff, but but yeah, I think you just need to pick and choose and be smart with what you do, and don't get burnt out on it,
Yeah.
because it'll get you.
Totally.
But I feel good now, and I feel actually amazing. So,
Good.
Yeah.
We're back on the Red Bulls.
Yeah,
We're all
back
good.
on the Bills, mate. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Go on, mate. Sorry, I was interrupted
Yeah,
your
sorry, yeah.
listener question there, Ollie.
I like the listener question. I think you'll like it too.
Yeah.
It's from Marty.ncl. How many Labradors is too many Labradors?
There's never too many. Like, honestly, I've got 3 at the minute, and yeah, like
You've had more though, eh?
no, oh yeah, I've had 5, but I ended up giving the 2 pups because I bred my dogs by mistake. But and she had 3 puppies, 3 black pups. I kept the boy, and I gave the other 2 girls to 2 of my best mates up the road. So I still get to see all the dogs, and they all hang out together. So
Have you always been like dog person?
nah, like
Is it new?
honestly, it was like a cat guy. Yeah, like,
Really, yeah.
mad into cats because my girlfriend, she had 2 cats.
Yeah.
But I always wanted a dog, but I was never allowed a dog. And then then lockdown happened again, and well, I was like just before thinking of that's probably how I thought the Balloon Project. If you trace it all back, it's because I was walking my dog, and I just got my dog to start a lockdown. And if I wasn't walking him, I probably wouldn't have thought the Balloon Project. So
Mate,
shout
those
out-
dog walks.
yeah. Shout
Those
to my
dog rides look hectic, man. Your Instagram, honestly, I watch that stuff. Like, if I was a dog, I wouldn't know where to go. You're going up trees, you're going backwards.
Yeah.
I'd be like, have you ever landed on any of your dogs?
Nah, like again,
Good, that's incredible.
like-
They're good dogs.
yeah, oh no, they are. Like, but yeah, I get that question all the time. And but to be honest with you, like, see, since we were pups in the garden and that, I do like wheelies around the garden, get them used to the bike and stuff like that. Or if I am doing like a spin off a tree or like a flare of that, or I'll get off the bike. If it's going to be somewhere I'm going to spin, then I'll walk the bike through it, just lift it up and like kind of like throw it down, or not throw it down, but like
Yeah.
put it down so they get, and I'll do a couple of run ups so they know where I'm going, and then I'll do it. But they're so good at staying out of the way. They get close, but they're so good, honestly, at just like pulling out of the way. Like,
I feel like you could do the ultimate trail dog edit.
well, this is another project idea I thought about doing. Build 2 lines, all right. So build one for me, and then one for like one of the dogs at the side here, so they follow me. But I swear, if we build like a dog loop, I reckon my like no, like yeah, like a almost like a cradle kind of like I did in Out of Season, that weird cradle thing off the side.
Yeah,
But he's got
open loop.
Yeah, but he's got like no choice but to hit it. I swear he'd go around it.
Is that in the hope that your dogs will get sponsored? Is that what you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, they've been sponsored, yeah, like they have, which is nuts as well. That's another story.
Your dogs have been sponsored.
Yeah, fully, like paid contract.
No, man.
Like honestly, no word.
They sign it with paw print.
Yeah, like a decent contract as well, like proper one. like honestly, yeah.
The loop might get good bonus, dude.
Yeah,
if you can factor the loop in.
Yeah, well, I reckon I could build them a sick line, and like even like on Instagram, you see like a dog like scrubbing over like a little jump. It's got like millions of likes now. I'm like, see if you built a line like that, and everyone loves dogs.
Dogs scrub nice, dude.
Yeah. But
I know if you make that into a clip, it's going to sound weird, but dogs scrub nice.
They do, don't they? They actually do. Like proper nice, with like some nice music and that. But I think that, and then do a premiere at Crufts or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like it'd be so sick.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that'd be the dream.
I'll tell you what, it's a big market, the dog market.
Massive. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's
bigger
massive,
than biking, probably. Well, it is bigger than biking.
Definitely.
I'm never. My family dog will not be able to go on a ride with you. Like my family dog will get hit 100% of the time. Like it's a dog that's impossible to go riding with. It's complete crap. Worst trail dog.
Yeah, I don't have a trail dog either.
No.
Mine has to be on a lead all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I have to go super slow. And he hates me, so he wouldn't. He wouldn't come anyway. So
right with some sausages in your back pocket.
Nah, not even that, mate. Not even.
That's how you get him up the loop.
Yeah.
Like sausages round it.
Wolves ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on! Round of applause for Davey for that
Sign him up.
gag of the day, dude. That's solid.
That joke of the day.
That's really nice. Really nice.
Thank you. That was off the dome.
Really impressed with that. Honestly, I don't even didn't see it coming.
Okay, what else we got? Okay, how do you balance being a father, husband, brand advocate, and rider?
Yeah, like I was saying, like it can be tough at sometimes. Like you're taking on quite a lot, but yeah, I guess it's just finding the balance of doing it. And like I go to bed at like 9 o'clock at night, and I'll get up at sometimes 4:45 in the morning and get out. Well, quite a lot of time. And I'll smash the dogs out in the morning on like a massive hike up a mountain or a ride, and then I'll come back and be a dad.
Yeah.
And then go and either run or ride again, and then or do something like train wise. But I've got a really nice wife as well. She like helps so much, and without her believing in me and helping me do everything, then I wouldn't be able to do it. So
has she been with you since the early days of?
Yeah. First ever girlfriend.
Oh, rad.
So
that's cool, man.
Yeah, she's a belter.
I'm just thinking about a bike I haven't seen you ride, and I'm not sure if I've seen you ride a downhill bike.
I just got one.
There we go.
Yeah. Literally just got a new demo the other day.
Have you? Yeah.
And it's so sick. I've not like.
Have you ridden a downhill bike before?
Never. I've never even been on one. Like honestly, this is like. But I want to start like. I want to go and ride down like some mad volcanoes or something, or like go and do like some Braga stuff or something. Yeah. Like I want to. Yeah. Like I want to do that. Like that's like the next thing.
Is it? Yeah.
I think so.
Weirdly, I'm going on a stag do.
Oh,
Where to?
I'm going to Morzine, and I'm going to get a downhill bike for it as well. So it's going to be the first. I haven't had a downhill bike. I'm the same as you. I've not had a downhill bike since when I was a kid, I had one.
Only you can turn a stag do into going downhill bike, right?
Yeah. Not my stag do. It's not mine. It's not my fault. But like, I am really excited about riding a downhill bike.
Yeah.
Like what I can get away with.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how.
Mate, you'll be terrified on a downhill bike.
Yeah, like I have to be accurate. You really have to be accurate. Like you have to be unbelievably accurate on your BMX. Like that's what you get really good at, isn't it? So it's like, if you're used to that, then on a downhill bike, it's going to be like you can fall asleep and just. It's going to be like that lane assist.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, same. Like I've never been on one, and they just look sick, don't they? Like as well, it's like.
So could we maybe expect like a downhill bike edit? Maybe
definitely, in the future for sure. Yeah.
Sick.
Like,
is there an event you'd like to do? I know you went to Hardline recently with Ramon.
Yeah.
Is that? I don't know.
I can do, to be honest, that stuff's gnarly. Those boys, right? But you never know. But I don't know. I don't think I could. Some of that stuff is next level. I'm probably not hitting that. There's some stuff I could see myself getting over, but don't know. We'll see. But I doubt it. I'll leave that to everyone else.
I've got a question. I reckon you'll be able to answer really well. It's from IMBMX_IN. Change the name, but whatever. How do you find creative lines on BMX without many spots? My village is tiny, and he says, I love your style as well at the end.
Nice.
No.
Kind of reflects what you said you grew up with, kind of.
Yeah, literally, yeah, mate, like, I don't know, I just riding all the, I don't know, I guess, like, I feel like I grew up, with not having much at all, but I would always make the most of it and try and figure out, just think of, it's hard to think of new stuff, but think of, like, such a hard one to answer, but think of different ways to ride the same spot, or if it's like carving or turning in a different way or using it in a different way somehow, but I don't know, it's so hard to say, but...
Do you think it's played a big part in your creativity, like coming from somewhere with less, kind of, as, you know, if it was all like Barcelona architecture, would it have almost been too much, overwhelming? You had to be creative with maybe your riding? I don't know. Yeah,
I think so, like it was like having a curb, like, for instance, like a curb. There's so many things you could do on that, like tire slide on the way up it, or like 180 up it, bar off it, or like peg chink off it, or like nollie off it. Like, there's so many things, or you could use it like a sub box and like fiffing it, or like something like that, or use it as like a quarter and tire tap, or learn to foot jam on the curb, or stuff like that. We didn't have much, so it's just about getting creative with what you have and looking at spots. Try and look at it completely different. I know it's a flat ledge, but look at it as if it's like a sub box or something like that, and try to do like ice pick to fakies or something like that.
All my favourite riders you could just put in a car park and they're going to make it fun. Like, I think that is actually true. Like, you watch you watch like Cade in a car park at a World Cup, or Phil Atwill, or any of these guys. They're downhill riders, but they're just messing around the whole time. I think like there's something in messing around for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's true. What's the current? This is from me. Current state of BMX, like especially in the UK. Is it in a good place? Is it in a bad place?
I think it's just changed a lot. But it's still in a really good place. But I feel like it's not as booming at the minute as what it could be, maybe.
I don't really spend much time personally in skate parks. So I've got a friend, Asylum, friend Jack runs that. My stepbrother as well has got a BMX company. Yeah. But like, I don't really embed myself in the culture of it too much. And obviously we had this scooter kid generation come through, and parks were super busy. Is that still like happening, or is?
I think so. Yeah, there's still a few scooters at the unit and stuff, but it's more BMXers at the unit.
Yeah, those kids now have gone BMX.
Which is a good thing. A lot of people hate on scooters, but a lot of those kids go into riding bikes when they get a bit stronger. Yeah. So, which is good. But yeah, I think like BMX, I mean, it's like anything, it comes in waves, isn't it? And the industry and stuff was like for everyone it went down, didn't it? But it's like coming back, and it's just takes time. But yeah, it's like everything changes, but I feel like the sport's only getting bigger, so it's only going to get better realistically. Yeah. So especially with the Olympics and that coming in, I think once people like see all that stuff and that, it's just going to blow people's minds. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Contest level is so crazy.
It's insane.
Like Olympic BMX runs, you sort of almost can't see where they're going. Yeah. It's but how do you further it from there?
It's like what's going to be next? Like, because like back in the day, it's like even like I don't know, just mad stuff like double flares and stuff like that, or like flare drop-ins, bunny hop flares into stuff. It's like a slope style stuff as well. Yeah. But like, where's the line? Where do you draw the line? You don't. It's like, how nuts. Like, it'll be cool to see that in 10 years from now. Like, where's that going to be? Like, how ridiculous does it need to get?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because it must be a limit. Sure. Yeah. But then it's probably not. Because
I don't know.
There's not, because there's 1,000 ways you could do it. Making up all these tricks.
You do think though, you have these stages in every sport where you're like, that's it, surely. Like, again, freestyle motocross, you know, especially like flip and then flip combinations, and then you're like, okay, that must be it. And then X Games, it's like Jacko Strong did a front flip, whatever it's called. Something. And you're like, okay, now it's front flip variations, is it?
Yeah, it's like,
holy, like, where does it stop? It's just going to keep going. Yeah. Especially with people like R. Willie around and stuff. It's not.
Exactly. Like,
and yourself, like, it's going to keep progressing.
Totally, yeah. And bikes and stuff are getting better as well. Everything's progressing. So I think, it's only going to get better and better and better. Because to even look at it from when we started riding to what it is now, it's just pretty mad, isn't it? Like, it's insane.
Yeah. When you say bikes get better, I'm disconnected. But how do BMXs get better? They seem
they seem to stay the same. But there's not much to BMX, but everything's getting lighter. Like, I've got carbon rims on my bike.
Are you
No,
BMX?
on it.
Yeah, I'm a BMX. Yeah.
No shit.
BSD carbon rim. So that's like quite a new thing.
I
But
didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know they made them.
yeah, they do. Yeah.
And are they
Few people
way lighter, or are they
yeah,
just stronger?
a lot lighter and a lot stronger. But yeah, because Alex Donachie was testing them for ages, and Dan Paley and a few other people, and then but yeah, they're amazing. But
Wow.
but bikes are so much lighter than what they were when I started. They were so heavy.
Mm.
And now they're insanely.
What about geometry? We're sort of obsessed with geometry as in the mountain bike world. It would seem, wouldn't it?
No, I'm not.
Longer.
Yeah.
Agreed. Me neither.
It is. Biking is.
As a sport, I feel like mountain biking is like so obsessed with like head angles, wheelbase, reach, all of that. Like, has BMX changed much over the years?
Not really. I mean, you get like 3 different frame sizes, and that's your whack.
Yeah.
or you can or you can run your wheel in a bit further out, or a bit further back.
Yeah.
Depends how many links you want to change.
Do you know your numbers and stuff? You know what head angle or top tube length?
Yeah, I run like 20.8 top tube, and that for me. But when it was weird because when I was younger and smaller, I used to run like a 21.1, which was super long. I don't know why I'd done that. I was like, why did I do that? But then 20.8 for me just seems perfect. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bike that can do everything on. Like, it handles well on the streets, and it handles well on the skate park. Can still blast the quarter pipe, but can still ride a set of trails or hit a jump box and stuff. So
Yeah.
ride a ball.
Yeah, there you
Got
go.
dirt jumps up. By
No.
you? No.
We had some, but the weather was like, we had some outside the unit, and we had diggers and that. We built them, and they were actually sick, but
Yeah.
we never got to ride them because I think we got to ride them one day, and one day of that year they were still dead soft because of the rain. It just doesn't work. Inverness, they've got some trails up there.
Oh, they
Looks
really?
good
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. That.
Inverness looks like it's going off at the minute. Eh?
Yeah, well, Daniel, all the boys are up there now.
Yeah.
Like, they got a real good scene up there.
It's where Joe's moving, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going up there as well. Yeah.
Might be the spot, eh?
I know, but I feel like I'm too far away from the unit. No matter what, I like it. I need to be near
Can't be.
there.
That's rad. I like that.
I just thought of something. It's super random. You don't have to answer it. But I seen an Instagram post the other day with you, and you had hair.
Oh yeah. Just
How?
shaved it off. I don't know.
Oh, that's what it was.
No, well, I didn't shave it off. Dyed it as well, my mate. Well, the guy that's the barb, but it's turned out a pretty mad colour. I need to go back and
Honestly, dude, I thought
it
you'd
again.
had a wig
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, what?
And I was going to ask you, I was like, do you I thought we had some like RuPaul fit. I don't know. I don't know what I thought.
I feel like
I
people
don't
like,
think the post quite.
Yeah.
I don't think I worked it out, and I was like, I didn't know if you.
What the? Nah, I feel like probably my mates and that as well, especially after having like a panic attack and that like the other week. I feel like everyone probably thinks I'm having like a midlife crisis or something like that. But I just wanted to change. I do it every couple of years. I'm like, I get so bored of my hair. I'll have it the same for like so long. Well, I had a mullet for ages there again.
Okay.
And then I had it like this daft haircut, and then I just done this. But I do this every once a year. Every once a couple of years, I always dye it and do something daft to it. But yeah.
There you go. I totally misunderstood the
Yeah.
post. I was like, I'm sure he just
Yeah.
stuck a wig
I
on.
forgot as well because I've got my head tattooed as well, and then I looked at the back of it. I've got like a Scottish wildcat in the back of my head as well.
Oh right.
No,
It's
right.
like massive, and I forget how gnarly it is. And even today on the plane, I'm like, people are probably looking at me like that. Who's this like guy straight out of jail? I mean, you can tell people are staring at you like that.
There was a question about tattoos.
Mm.
I think the question is like, who is your tattoo artist?
Yeah.
So yeah, I love tattoos.
Yeah, I've got a guy in Glasgow called Jam Tats, his name is, but he does like pretty much everything. But then also I've got a lot from all over the world, like some different ones.
Yeah.
Like for that one there, for instance, like I got a raccoon.
Oh, yeah.
With a martini and a tuxedo, and we were in Santa Barbara, and this raccoon would come to the house every night, and I'd feed it pizza every night, and it was the sickest raccoon. Like it would come, and every night I'll just feed it pizza. So when I got back, I was like, I'm getting a raccoon tattoo. And then there's like loads. There's a trip called Ride to Glory, if you ever seen any of those, and you get book full of challenges. So
Yeah.
get that tattooed. Got Living the Dream tattooed on me because I generally feel like I'm living the dream.
Nice.
As daft as that sounds. And then I got a plane because I'm always traveling. There's a bike company I ride for, BSD. That's their logo. That was Grant Smith paid for that.
Really?
Yeah, that was when I was super young as well.
Wow, that's a
and got
commitment to the
that.
brand right there.
And then
Get your focus one out.
yeah, I've got loads. Oh, I've got a Kaleidoscope one as well. That's a logo from Kaleidoscope.
Oh, mate, that's sick. Yeah.
And then I got Any Which Way because I never know which way I'm going or what I'm doing. So it's like with arrows. I've got a BMX one. That was the first one I ever got.
Okay.
I think I was like 12 when I got that.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Just as BMX?
Yeah, BMX. Yeah.
Who tattooed you when you were 12?
my mate called Dopey. That was his nickname, Dopey. Derek Doak, his name is. But yeah, he was my brother's.
Is he still doing it, or is it
No,
one and done?
Yeah, no, one and done. But it's absolutely. But then the guy had done this Wolf. He was like, I need to cover that up, and I was like, no, you don't. I was like, keep that there.
Yeah.
And the first one was BMX.
First one. And you get an MTB on as well, don't I?
Yeah.
Ebe one. Yeah.
Ebe one.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
Anything you think we've missed or what? Or like,
Mate, what a story,
yeah,
dude.
the story.
What
Please come back on, like, and just hang out. I know
I've
we've
got
done
plenty
like
more stories.
a deep dive of stories, but
Yeah.
Start to
I'm not
finish,
doing
dude,
that.
I feel like I've just watched a proper movie. And I understand more about Kriss Kyle than I did before, for sure.
yeah.
No,
Like,
cheers.
you're the real deal, dog. Big
Nah,
fan.
thank you, boys. Yeah,
Always have
honestly.
been, but even more so now, eh?
Boys, honestly, well, massive thanks for having me on this, and yeah, love what you boys do. So
Anytime,
Keep
dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's it, and that's that.
Thanks for listening. Peace and
Yeah.
love.
yeah, nice one, guys.
Down the
Thanks,
barrel.
Chris.
Hope
Like
you
and
enjoyed it.
subscribe.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, we were.
See you. Nah, stoked there. Nah, thank you, boys.
Mate, what an episode.
Brilliant. I thought you were really great, Davey.
Mate, and I thought you were even better.
Thanks, dude.
Better
Thanks,
than
dude.
normal.
Oh, cheers.
Hey, how about we tell our lovely podcast community to hit subscribe here,
Yeah,
click on the video on Olly's face,
that's right.
click on the video on my face,
Yeah.
and follow us at The Right Companion on Instagram.
They can like and comment as well.
Please do.
I'm going to try and get this energy and I'm going to bring it into next week.
Let's fast forward to next week's episode.
Done.